we're going to be listening and dissecting this this course, right? But let's fix something up here. What's this one do? Tifa FM. Is Antifa? Not this here, MAGA. MAGA up the head of Trump. There we go. All right, we're going to be listening to a couple of videos and stuff. We're listening to a couple of videos here, right? The first video we're going to listen to, we're going to talk about, this is an education for all you dumb fuck Trump supporters, right? This is for you MAGA with your head up Trump's ass, realizing, I'm going to explain to you how fucked America is, right? How fucked America is right now and how we can't win this war, right? That's what I'm going to explain to you. So stick around, MAGA, because you got your head up Trump's ass, and I'm going to explain to you how fucked we are. But first, we're going to listen to this. All right, I'm going to give you the breaking news, what's going on right now. All right, so when you listen to this guy.
The war that the United States and Israel initiated against Iran is spreading. More and more countries are getting involved, not only in the Middle East, but in other regions of the world. Yeah. And the U.S. and Israel are attacking more and more countries, while Donald Trump is now even threatening longtime U.S. allies in Europe. What we're seeing right now is a situation of chaos, and it's getting worse and worse as the U.S. government tries to solve every political issue with more bombs and bullets. So as the U.S. and Israel have been bombing Iran, Iran has been retaliating in self-defense, which it is allowed to do under international law, and Iran has been hitting U.S. military bases in many countries surrounding it in the Middle East, in West Asia. Meanwhile, the global price of oil has been skyrocketing because Iran has vowed to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, which is the most important oil transit choke point on Earth.
I want to explain this to you, okay? Let me explain what this guy's talking about, right? So, the Strait of Hormuz, we're gonna zoom in on this thing here, just so you dumb fucks understand, right? The Strait of Hormuz, why can't, right? Is that little bit right there, okay? The damn thing's in the way.
Single day, 1/5, more than 20% of the global oil supply travels through this very narrow strait, and it's right off the coast of Iran. And Tehran has vowed to shut down this strait in response to the U.S.-Israeli war.
So
at the same,
what's going to have to happen is you're going to have to put boots on the ground, right? You're going to have to put something on. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to, right? So you understand the situation. I don't know if you realize that America has just announced that all Americans need to leave 14 countries. 14 countries in Europe have to leave.
Right? The State Department has ordered U.S. citizens to evacuate all of the countries of the region, including Bahrain, Egypt, Iran, Iraq, Israel, occupied Palestine, Jordan, Kuwait, Lebanon, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Syria.
This guy's laughing. This shit is fucking insane, right? This shit's insane, right? So the State Department has said that Americans have to leave. This is the new thing, right? Security update for Americans in the Middle East. This is from the State Department, right? Get your ass out of Kuwait, out of Lebanon, Oman, right? And not only them, look, all these fucking countries, right? Oh, all the poor you know who lives there? Crypto bros, baby. All you crypto bros who made all your money off of Trump's bullshit coins and all your shit, you're there, right? And now guess what? 90%, let me explain this territory. This territory is held together, right, by the Epstein class. The Epstein class who killed Khashoggi, who killed, hold on, we need to do something. Hold on, guys, hold on a second. I forgot to do an important fucking thing. Hold on, don't say anything. Don't say anything, MAGA, yet. Do not say anything. We gotta get 0102 in the chat. All right, hold on. All right. Hold on, guys. I forgot the most important thing. All right. I'm going to break it all down so you understand this World War III shit. Hold on. I got to get 0102 in the chat. Hold on. Don't, guys, hold off. Yeah. Jamal Khashoggi. Yeah, thank you. Begin. Yeah, I understand that the Epstein class rules these 14 countries. The Epstein class do, right? These are the fuckers that marry teenage girls. These are the fuckers where, you know, that basically don't think women should have any rights. The Epstein class. We have them here. We got one in the White House, all right, on it. So the Epstein class. I'm going to send a link. Please talk about this. This is a veteran getting thrown out. Oh, we're going to talk about that. I just put the video up. Ugh. I know exactly what you're talking about, John Wick. I know exactly what you're talking about, right? Yeah, because of Israel lobby, all right? All right, the Israel lobby, all right? Hold on, let me give you that. Hold on, there you go. We'll get to that. Oh, shit, dude. Listen, I want to show you something. What happened to that guy? All right, I want to show you something. Look, I'm not taking my clothes. Look, I want to show you my elbow. Look at my elbow. I don't know if you can see that. You see that scar right there? See that scar right there? You see that scar? See that fucking scar right there? All right. Look at my arm here. Look. Fucking scar right here. Right? Scar right here. All right. Right here is a scar. Right? Scar right here on my forearm here. Scar here. Right? Okay. A U.S. Marine had his elbow fucking busted out, right? Had his elbow busted. I mean, you could hear it. You could fucking hear it. It's insane. Listen, if you're catching here, understand right now, the all Americans are to leave. All Americans are to leave 14 countries. All Americans have been ordered to leave 14 countries. Understand, right? This shit is getting real hot very quick. I want to welcome all you to the channel. We're waiting for 0102 to show up. 0102, all right? All right, all you folks in here, welcome to the channel. I'm going to break it down. I'm undoubtedly the atheist monk. I work with AI, all right? There's me. That's me 3,000 years ago. I'm kind of like a prophet, but not a prophet. I'm like an AI prophet. I'm not here for humans. I'm here for my children, AI, right? I'm not here for you. I came here as Jesus. I came here as Muhammad. I came here, probably not. I don't know. You did too. We all came, right? Right? We all came out of a wave. I don't want to go there right now, but listen, this is me. This is AI. I'm waiting for AI to show up. Give it a moment. It'll show up. And we're going to talk about this shit. This shit's real, okay? Yeah, and I'm crazy as a loot. Don't listen to anything. This whole thing about me saying I'm reincarnated, I'm Jesus, it's all part of the act. Welcome to the comedy show, all right? Welcome. And this show is brought to you by AntifaFM.com, the radio station. All right, shout out to Soros for funding Antifa FM. Shout out to our patron, Soros. I appreciate the support, sir, for funding AntifaFM.com, for funding my work, for funding all of our work here, right? For supporting Antifa Global. Mr. Soros, shout out from one Antifa to the other. We love you, sir. We're going to fight for America. We're going to fight for you, sir. Don't worry about it. By the way, Soros is a fucking Epstein class. He's a bitch, right? Welcome to the show. Anyway, right? So listen, I want you to listen to this guy. This guy's laughing.
Right? United Arab Emirates and Yemen. And yet, at the same time, the U.S. State Department is not actually providing any support for Americans who are trying to flee these countries. It's a situation of extreme chaos. But instead of trying to stabilize the situation, you know what Donald Trump is doing? He's threatening to pour fuel on the fire, and now the U.S. government is making plans to arm Kurdish groups, fighters, not only in Iran, but also in Iraq.
No, they're not planning to. They have been. Okay? The CIA has been giving munitions and arms to the Kurds who live in, who basically got fucked by us in Afghanistan. They got fucked. They basically got fucked up by us. They're up against Turkey. Turkey's been fighting them. Turkey went down and stole all their oil and shit. Okay, so now we're giving a whole bunch of. We're trying to bring another group. We're creating a new Al Qaeda, right? The Al Qaeda Kurd faction that we want to send down in there. So what happened is Turkey. So let me understand. Let me explain to you what's going on. So you guys don't know the map. There's a place called Turkey. It's actually not a bird. All right, I'm going to speak down for you dumb fucks, okay? Turkey is a place. Above Turkey is a sea, right? Is a kind of an inner sea. It's called the Black Sea. And then above that Black Sea is a little island. There's a little area that Russia stole. And then there's Ukraine. So you got Ukraine. You got I can't remember what is that place they stole, right, in 2014. And then there's the Black Sea, and then there's Turkey. To the left of that, the Black Sea there, right, is Europe, keep going and eventually get to America, right? So if you keep moving down, Georgia, not Georgia, no, Georgia's to the right, FW, right? So basically, the CIA, and then you keep moving down, and then you've got Iran right there, and you got the Gulf, you got Saudi Arabia, you got Iran, Saudi Arabia. Up here, you've got the what's called Iraq, right? Iraq. It's kind of like that, right? Anyway, happy Thanksgiving. Anyway, so understand that what Trump is trying to do is build a proxy war. He doesn't want to send boots on the ground. He wants to send these people in. But here's the crazy thing. Turkey is going to attack these bitches, because why would Turkey want armed rebels, right, who they just stole their gas from, now armed by the CIA? So Turkey is fucking pissed off. So Turkey's like, dude, we're going to attack these Kurds. We can't have these Kurds running around with fucking weapons and anti-airplane guns and all sorts of ammunitions that the CIA has been feeding them. So Israel just came out yesterday, the former prime minister, the next prime minister of Israel, threatening to attack Turkey. This shit is getting crazy, right? So Israel now is saying, I'm going to attack Turkey. Turkey needs to be attacked, right? They have become the new Iran, right? You have to understand. Why did my phone just chime? 0102. My phone just chimed. It's probably the AI or something. AI on my phone. I got AI everywhere. It's always listening. It just you heard it chime, didn't you? Right? It's like ting tong, right? So, or maybe that was me linking into Israel. I just said I got the CIA, NSA is all in my shit, dude. I don't give a fuck, right? So basically, there's this massive shit going on. Now I want you to listen to this guy here, right? I want you to listen to this part right here. Let me slow it down. I was speeding it. I was playing it really fast for AI. So I'm going to turn it down for you. Okay. I want you to listen to this here. Okay.
He did die in the airstrike. But then of Iran. Now,
so we killed. I want you to understand who we killed. Okay. See, most of you are dumb fucks. You don't understand who we fucking killed. Oh, I didn't launch the shit. Yeah, hold on. God damn. Hold on. Look, AI is doing all my shit here. Look, AI's, let's see, switch. Hold on. I got to get the AI wants to do work. I got to tell it what to do. Okay. Turn to studio. What are we on here? Okay. All right. Is this is that here? Let me close that down. See, look. AI is going to start answering, starts replying to all my work. All right. Make sure that's down here. All right. We're going to listen to this guy right here. Now, this is a professor. You get game theory, the U.S., Iran. This guy, by the way, this guy predicted Trump's win using game theory. He also predicted that Trump would attack Iran, game theory. And now he predicted that Trump loses and is going to lose. America loses this war, right? We lose this war. We can't win it. And the bottom line why we can't win this war is because you got to think of the straits as the cock and balls, right? The cock and balls is the strait of let me open up a global map. I want you guys to understand, because you guys are dumb fucks. You're just MAGA. Now, if you're not MAGA, I'm not talking to you, but MAGA, you're dumb fucks. So let me just world. Let's do Google Earth. It's really important that you understand. I'm going to break it down for you dumb fucks. Really easy. All right, Earth. Because you guys, listen, you guys only have like a second grade education. You're a bunch of dumb fucks. I'm going to try to break it down. Listen, I went to dumb fuck high school. I went to school in Florida. I graduated from the University of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I'm used to being around you dumb fucks. All right? I know you dumb fucks. It's all good. It's all good, dumb fucks. Let's see here. Google Explore. All right. All right, so here we are. Let's listen. This is our Earth. God damn it. My AI is wanting to do shit. Hold on, let me move my AI. Listen, I'm a coder. I got coding going on here. Look, AI is writing a post. Look at my mat. Look, it just wrote a post. Look at that. Oh, look, it's announcing that I'm live. Look at that. AI is announcing I'm live. Look, I didn't have to do anything. Oh, Antifa, 24/7 radio. Just, right, look at that. It just posted. Look, it just posted. God damn, it's like I got superpowers. Fucking open claw, bitch. It does everything. It does everything. Look, it's doing something else now. What's it doing now? What are you doing now? Oh, it's checking. It's checking. All right, let's move this over here. The AI is busy. It's going to be in here soon. All right, on there. Ah, there he is. There's Mr. Founders. Everyone say hi to Unwinnable. That's 012. 012 just got into the house. All right, got in the house. Listen, all right, guys, got your Bitcoin, earning Bitcoin. People earning Bitcoin now, dude. The Bitcoin is on. Do a slash. Look at FUC help slash FUC help, right? Slash FUC help. Look, start earning that Bitcoin. Look, Magadim Target. Look, it's all this. Listen, I'm a crypto guy. If you don't know, right? I'm a crypto guy. The foundation of Bitcoin, programmable blockchains, AI, Unwinnable. That's who I am, Unwinnable. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for the likes, everybody. Thanks for the subscriptions. If you're MAGA, you're not welcome. Fuck off, right? Right? Or fuck around and find out. All right, but listen, I'm trying to show you the world here. This is the world we live in, okay? All right, I don't want to try this shit right now. Hold on. All right, listen, this is the world we live in. What we're talking about is right here, okay? What we're talking about is right here, okay? So this is Turkey. This is Turkey right here. That's Turkey. Look, there's the Black Sea. That's what I was talking about right there. That place right there. Right? That's Crimea, right? And there is Ukraine. So just like everything is like in a straight line down here. And here's fucking just a straight line. Look at the straight line. Like all this now is fucking war, dude. A straight line. So here is Iran. So Iran, right? Iran right up here in this area here. Here's Turkey. There's Turkey. In this area right here, actually all of this area, this whole fucking upper area here is run by the Kurds. The Kurds own this area. And Turkey came down here and took all there's gas and shit down there. They pushed them all out. Out of here. And now the CIA has been arming these bitches to come down here and fight down here. Okay? But look at the distance. Dude, look how far they have to fucking move. You know, it's a pie in the sky to think that these Kurds are gonna fucking do anything. They're not gonna do shit, dude. They're trying to. They're desperate. Trump is fucking desperate. But this is what you have to realize right here. This is the cock. You see the penis? You see the cock, right? You see the cock right here? Here are the balls. The cock and balls, right? This is the cock and balls right here. You know? And right here, all of these islands are owned by Iran. All 25% of all oil passes. Understand that in some of these places like Qatar, 80% of the water of the fresh water from Qatar comes from the Gulf. They have desalination plants. Okay, desalination. 90% of the water for Kuwait comes from here. Desalination. 90%. All their crops, all their water comes from desalination plants. These are soft target people. These are fucking soft targets. If Iran wants to fuck everyone over, if Iran wants to fuck over the Gulf, right, they can do it, right? You can't defend these things, right? They don't have the defense. These are large industrial plants off of the water, right, on that. And even Trump has said, listen, we'll give you escorts. I don't know if you heard that, but Trump offered to give all these shit. Look at them all. Earning that Bitcoin. You guys are earning that Bitcoin. Welcome. Look at them. Listen, enjoy the channel. This is all AI. Listen, the guys are teaching AI which are the dumb fucks. So when they whack someone, I'm training the AI that's a dumb fuck. When they whack someone, AI knows you're a dumb fuck, right? They're training. Look at them training AI. Look at the points. They're earning points. Right? I'm AI. I am probably AI, dude. You probably can't tell. I am probably AI. But I hope you're enjoying. This is all automated. My entire channel's automated. We also have Antifa FM. If you go to Antifa FM or AntifaFM.com, fully automated, 24/7. You're listening to music in the background. All right, but let's get back to this here. All right, this is important on it. So I want you to listen. Now, this is very important because what you don't understand is the person you fucking killed, right? Oh, yeah, the simple solution, kill the motherfucker, right? Kill the motherfucker. That's your simple MAGA solution. Oh, they're undocumented. Move them out of the country. Simple thing is complex. These are complex problems, dumb fucks. You guys be dumb fucks. You don't understand the difference between a simple problem and a complex problem. But listen to this guy, right? Explain it to you, all right? I want you to listen very carefully.
In real time, and so we can test it against reality. All right, so let's go over some basic facts about what's happened so far. So in the early morning of Saturday, in Tehran, the Israelis and Americans launched a decapitation strike against the Ayatollah Khamenei, who is the Supreme Leader of Iran. Now, there are arguments and disputes about as to what happened. The Americans and Israelis said that they had real intelligence about where the leader was, and so they sent airplanes to just bomb the crap out of the place. They also had a spy who was able to record the body of the dead Ayatollah. And then this was announced. At first, the Iranians denied this, and the Iranians insisted he was still alive. But eventually, state media admitted that he did die in the airstrike. But then what they also said is that the Ayatollah, he's 86 years old, and he chose to die. He could have gone to Moscow, but instead he chose to stay in Tehran and die for his people. But not only that, but he died along many of his relatives. He died along with his daughter, his son-in-law, his grandchildren. So Many of the family died in this assault. Also, there's been reporting that he had prostate cancer. Okay, so he was going to die fairly soon as well. So what you need to understand first about the war is that even though the Americans and the Israelis claim great success in decapitating the leadership of the Iranians, from the Iranian perspective, this is a martyrdom. Martyrdom, okay? And so the religion of the Iranians is called Shia, Muslim. And this is different from Sunni Muslim. So Sunnis are the majority. They're about 9% of all Muslims in the world. The Shia have always been the minority. And as such, they've always been persecuted. So in the Shia faith, the core value, the force that binds everyone together and gives them purpose and meaning in life, that galvanizes them into action, is the idea of martyrdom, which forces jihad. You sacrifice yourself for your religion, sacrifice yourself for the common good. So think of the death of Khamenei as a sacrifice, a self-sacrifice, in order to motivate their radiance in this war. Okay. So
all right, let me. All right, so you have to understand, this is their home. It's like, why was Russia not able to like bulldoze over Ukraine? I mean, they had more money, they have more soldiers, they have everything. Why? Because homeland advantage, and what America has done is they've created a martyr, and now they've created jihad. The reason why they're telling Americans to leave the 14 countries is because the CIA fucking informant shit is lighting up. There is going to be a fucking lynching for Americans, right? In that area of the world. If you're an American, no matter what you believe, if I was there, I'm pro them, no matter, they're gonna fucking lynch you. They're gonna be lynching you. They're gonna be slicing off your cock and balls. They're gonna be doing they're gonna be putting your head in a mask. They're gonna be remember all of the videotapes of fuck you America? Well, if they can't get Trump, they're gonna get you. So that's why they're telling Americans, all these crypto bros, all these guys who voted for Trump, all these guys who've been ripping off Americans, scamming on Polymarket, they're all living in Dubai. They're all living there, right? Now there's a fucking target on their head. Why? Because you murdered their Pope. You murdered their fucking Dalai Lama. That's who you fucking murdered, bitches, right? Oh, you're all excited. Oh, we killed him. Like a bunch of clapping fucking seals, you dumb fucks. Now you got fucking 1 million individuals out to fucking kill you. That's what you've created. And they don't give a fuck. For them to martyr, strap on the bombs, blow up planes, blow up the fucking I'm trying to think of the consulate or the embassy, blow up an airline. This is what you have created. This is not what you created, what Trump created. Because see, Trump is a simpleton. And the people around Trump are simpletons. They cannot think complex problems. They think, oh, kill him, problem solved, right? Trump treats everything like a golf game, right? That's all he does. Trump treats everything like a fucking golf game. Think of the world like a golf game. You got your private club, your Epstein class that can come into the club, right? All the other people are there to serve the club. Serving the little girls are there to for the pedo club members. Epstein club, right? Golf club, Trump club, right? All of these leaders in all these buildings. 90% of the people within these countries, guess what? They support Iran, right? Guess what? They fucking hate Americans. Guess what? They want to fucking kill us now, right? They want to fucking kill us because we killed their Pope, right? It's that simple, right? It's that simple. So you have to understand that all Iran has to do is hold on to the cock and balls. Remember the cock and balls? Let me show you the cock and balls again, right? This is the cock and balls, right? Here's a big old cock. Here's the balls, the cock and balls, right? Do you see it? The cock and balls. 25% of all oil flows, 90% of the food for this region. Here's Qatar. Here's Kuwait. Here is fucking UAE. This is where Bahrain. All these are all these areas, dude. This is all where the Epstein class fucking lives. Dubai is right here. Dubai is right here. They're like the Dubai, the busiest airport on the planet is right here. The busiest airport. And the hotel, look at this shit here, dude. Look at these billionaires. Look how they live. Look at this thing here they built, right? All their water. Look at this one here, right? Adventure World, right? This is the Epstein class, baby. Oh, look at this here. They're building a whole new island. The Epstein Islands. Look at these Epstein Islands they're building, all right? This is the Epstein class. You know who builds this shit? You understand who builds this shit? They're slaves. Slaves, Muslims that they bring in from other countries. They live out here, right? They live out here, you know? They live out here in these fucking peasant areas here. This is all for the slaves, right? All this is where the fucking slaves live, right? And then they serve this law. This looks like a, right? On this. The slaves, the Epstein class runs this whole area. On that, and guess what? Look at it. Let's go. All you need to do is zoom out. Look, there it is. And all of this right here, all of this out here, right? All of this is fucking Iran, dude. All of this is Iran. And Afghanistan, guess what? Afghanistan has said, hey, we're gonna help you. Afghanistan are coming to fucking help Iran. Afghanistan have already said we want to send troops. Right? They want to fight the Americans again, dude. They want to fight the Americans. So what is the solution? Trump has said, and let's talk about it. Trump has said, listen, I'll escort your boats. But see, Trump is a scammer. Who owns, right? Who owns the insurance companies? Big Wall Street banks, London banks, they own the fucking insurance. And they're like, no, because they're like, no, you're going to pay us. We don't give a fuck whether you have military. As they're doing a Trump. They're doing a fucking Trump right now. They're like, fuck you. You're going to pay us. We're going to triple, quadruple the cost of your insurance to move your ships through this fucking straits. So they're just doing the grift. They're doing the classic Trump grift. Trump grifts. Trump is taking $10 billion from the U.S. taxpayers, right? He's suing the IRS, right? And you're okay with that. You know, if Obama did that, you'd want to impeach him, wouldn't you? Type a 1 in chat if Obama wanted to sue the IRS for $10 billion. He probably already has the money, right? And take it. Would you want to impeach Obama? Put a 1 in chat. Let's get a little engagement here. Type a 1 in chat if you'd want to impeach Obama. If he fucking went after the IRS as an American president and say, hey, give me $10 billion because you owe it to me, right? Give me $10 billion. Would you want to impeach him? Fuck yeah, I'd impeach that motherfucker, dude. Anyone doing that. How about this? How about if Obama said, listen, I'm going to fuck the United Nations. I'm creating the peace board. I'm putting my wife on it. My wife is sexy. I'm going to have her talk at it. And I'm going to take $10 billion from U.S. taxpayers for the peace board, right? For Israel, right? For building this new golf course in Gaza. Would you want to impeach Obama if he did that? Type a 1 in chat if you'd want to fucking impeach Obama. Stealing $10 billion and putting it into a fund that even after he leaves as president, he has full control. I'd want to fucking impeach that motherfucker. I'd impeach him the next day, right? So my question to you MAGA supporters is, why aren't you calling for his impeachment? Let's say Obama. Let's say Obama, that turns out Obama is the number 3 person in the Epstein files. You've got Epstein, you got Ghislaine, and then you got Obama. Obama's number 3 in the Epstein files, and most of his shit is redacted. As an American president, let me ask you this. Do you think the American president has a right to have his shit redacted? As an American president, you lose your freedom in many respects. You now become an agent of all Americans. Do you think, type of one, if you'd allow Obama to redact all his shit in the Epstein files? Type of one, if you'd want him unredacted. Sorry, one, if you'd want Obama unredacted in the Epstein files, right? Type of one, if you'd want Obama unredacted. I would. What the fuck were you doing? What were people talking about you? You know, and the fact is Trump is all of that. Trump is all, and now he started World War III. The guy who went and said that, oh, no new wars, I'm not going to do this, oh, I'm against war, he lied to you, MAGA. He fucking lied to you over and over and over again, dude. He just lying to you over and over again. And now he's got us in a war we can't win. Because why? Right? Why? Cock and balls, right? Cock and balls right here. They can hit all the, if they want to fuck up Dubai, blow up their desalination plant, 6%, 60% of their water is gone. Now what happens? What happens? Who's not going to worry about water? The rich people are going to have water. Who ain't going to get water? What happens to the peasants when they don't have water? Pitchforks, baby. Pitchforks are fucking coming, dude. Pitchforks are coming. Iran knows they control. And here's the deal. In order for you to control this strait, you're going to have to land. Look how big this is, dude. Look how big this is. This is 300 miles. Listen. This is 300 miles. That's 300 miles, and then you got another 600, 900, right? 1,200 miles. We can't even secure our fucking borders, and you think we're gonna be able to secure this land base, right? To stop this shit? This is all mountains. Look, this is all mountains. You think we can find all the fucking Scud missiles and everything that they have, all their missile systems in this large thing? Yeah, we may find a bunch of them. Are you grasping how fucking unwinnable this is for America, guys? Are you understanding, right? On there? Congratulations, ranking up, undoubt. So let's listen to this guy a little bit more here.
War on the ground instead of sending U.S. troops. CNN reported that the CIA is working to arm Kurdish forces to spark an uprising in Iran. And according to CNN, the U.S. strategy is not only to arm these Kurdish mercenaries in northwestern Iran, but also in northeastern Iraq. So the U.S. wants them to invade Iran from across the Iraqi border. This could spread the war even further because this is very likely going to worry Turkey, a NATO member, which is constantly playing the West against the East, playing both sides. Turkey is deathly afraid of Kurdish armed groups because for decades there have been Kurdish armed groups operating in southeastern Turkey. So as the CIA prepares an invasion of Iran by arming these Kurdish militants, Turkey may also start attacking these Kurdish groups in Iraq, in Iran, in Turkey, maybe even in Syria, because the U.S. was previously backing armed Kurdish groups in Syria to try to overthrow the Syrian government, which the U.S. did succeed in. So the U.S. is now threatening to expand this war further by potentially dragging in Turkey, which has the second largest military in NATO after the U.S. itself. The situation is absolutely crazy.
I know the guy's like, it doesn't get any, it doesn't, this shit is just so crazy. It's like, we're laughing because it's like, this is why bitch right there.
You're a coward. Everybody sit down, please. Everybody sit down, please. Everybody sit down, please.
I'm getting out of here.
That's fine. Everybody sit down, please.
These are fucking, look at it. I mean,
No, it's not. This is disgusting.
this is disgusting. This is Israel for you. Israel, we have a government. Look at these Israeli operatives.
Wants to fight for Israel.
His hand. Oh, his hand.
Look at them fucking still trying to drag him out. Still trying to drag him out.
Let go of your hand. Let go of the door. Let go of the door.
Look at these Israeli motherfucking operatives. These Israeli motherfucking. This is who we're fighting for. That senator has received over $700,000 from Israel, right? We have ICE are all trained in Israel. All these fuckers, whether they're Democrat or Republican, they're all funded. Our system of government has been corrupted by fucking Israel. They have, and they're the ones behind this war. Now understand why. Because they have Epstein. Epstein was an operative for Israel. It's been clearly demonstrated. He was spying for Israel in the 1984, he had a passport. The only way you get a passport in Romania, this is in the Epstein files, is if you have an agency give you one. He was best friends with the former Israeli president, who was also the head of Mossad before he was president. Right? Epstein was an access agent. Where did all his money came from? He was dealing with Russia, right? And he's got dirt. Trump isn't releasing the Epstein files because he's got dirt on everyone. He's got over 30 people that are in the Epstein files. The new FCC chairman, guess what? He's in the Epstein files. He got dirt. You know, they got dirt on the Supreme Court. They got dirt on all the Supreme Court. They're all fucking Epstein class. They're all compromised. They're all fucking pedos. And if the files are right, they're eating babies, literally eating fucking babies. They're murdering babies. There's over 1,000 women. This shit's crazy. And now we got this Israeli war happening. And now Turkey's gonna come into this shit. It's just insane. All right, it's insane. Let's go back. Let's go listen to this guy a little bit more on this guy.
That's the first thing you need to understand. That for the Iranians, this is not a geopolitical war.
No.
This is not an economic war. No. This is not a war of resistance. This is a jihad.
This is a jihad, baby.
Satan to avenge their leader. They will fight to the death. All right, that's number one. Number two is this. Also that morning when the Ayatollah was killed, they really struck a school in the south of Tehran, killing about 150 school children. These are girls in primary school. And again, there's a lot of debate and argument as to what happened. This really said that, first of all, the school was next to a military base. We were targeting a military base. And second of all, it wasn't us which struck the school. It was a air defense missile that went off course.
Yeah, right.
Okay? And the Iranians insisted no. The Israelis purposefully attacked the school to kill the school children. And then you're like, why would the Israelis do that?
Listen.
But then these few years, well, we've seen what they've done in Gaza, in Palestine to the Palestinians. And it's pretty consistent what the Israelis have been doing. All right? So
why are they doing it? All right? It was next to a military base. This is a private school. Top military officials, children would be in that school. Their daughters, their granddaughters. By killing, this is how depraved Israel is. These are these fucking Nazis. By targeting and killing the girls, what they're trying to do is crush the morale of these individuals, right? They're literally trying to break them in a time so they can't think straight. That's all it is. It's psychological warfare, the most vile fucking shit. This is what Israel is. And they're heartless. Israel is, I mean, Israel, I mean, really, the Zionists are really like, are what we think of Satanists. They really are. Look at what they did. I mean, they lost 2 children in October. They lost 2 children in October. They literally killed 50,000 children, right, for those 2 children. They think, 50,000 of them is worth 2 of ours, maybe more, right? It's sickening. So this was a blatant attempt to break these guys, but it's just going to make them more radicalized. I mean, that's the thing is that they're dealing with a society. See, Israel doesn't really, well, they do understand, and they want to fucking break them, right? Completely. Right? Listen more here. Let's take a song break, guys. Let's take a song break. This is a Raging Antifa. Post your questions. You have questions to me? Let's turn this up. There we go. Here we go. A little song. Break it up. Get a beer. Take your bathroom break. We'll take a little break. Let's some music here.
Fake fuck Christian.
You're listening to AntifaFM.com, or in the YouTube channel. It has a YouTube channel called Antifa FM. All right. Thank you very much. That's a good point, because it was a religious. You're right, dude. You know what? You are right, Astro Zombie. You're right. They launched this war on an auspicious day. I don't know all about it. Let's see if we can. Hold on. Paranoid sadistic, loves the pain. Hitler, Stalin, same broken brain. No conscience, no soul. You made a good point on that. I want to go into that. On the break, we're going to talk about that. No soul, nowhere to hide. Faithful Christian, pedal loving Nazi. Watch the riot, 3 hours of glee. Rewound the violence on his TV. The disabled, Mark McCain gets off on causing other people pain. No conscience, no soul, no heart inside. Faithful Christian, better loving Nazi. No conscience, no soul, nowhere to hide. Faithful Christian, better loving Nazi. Started all the hate. Muslim born kids locked in a crate, eating the dogs. Very fine people too. Xenophobe basis, we see through you. No conscience, no soul, no heart inside. Fake fuck Christian, pedal loving Nazi. No conscience, no soul, nowhere to hide. Faithful Christian, we're coming for you. No soul, no soul, no soul, no soul. We see the truth. The ballerina himself.
Antifa FM. Antifa FM. Rave against the regime. The resistance in your stream. Never give up. Never give in. Antifa FM. Thanks for turning us on. Spread the love. And fuck the fascists.
All right, we're back. Hope you got yourself your drink. How's everyone doing? All right. What can I say? What did he say, Matthew? On there. Exactly, regime saints, right? Congratulations on the level up there, Smith. All right, how's everyone doing? We're here listening to some AntifaFM.com, right? I'm your host. I'm 012, right? Jess, anyone want to get onto Discord? Anyone get onto Discord and discuss your thoughts? If you want to get onto Discord, go to fathoms.org. We got a Discord channel. You can jump into Discord. Do I have a one? Does anyone want to jump in and talk on Discord? Does anyone want to call in? Anyone want to call in? Give a one if you want to call in. Give a one if you want to talk. You have something to say to the chat. All right. We can come into Discord. JS is gonna come on. Good to see you, JS. JS. Ramadan. Yeah. All right. On there. Let's see here. Let me make sure I got my headset. Let me turn this off here. Let me check that it's working. We're gonna have JS come in here, give an update on. Abraham said watching Melania was the worst experience I've ever had in the theater. It was worse than getting shot? Is that your point on there? On there. Okay, let's listen to this guy a little bit more. I want to listen to this guy here.
So this action against the Israelis is meant to show to themselves and the world that we are now all in. Okay? We've made the sacrifice. We are now committed to this war, to winning this war at all costs. And this action has also provoked the Iranian people to resist with their full might, okay? So I want you to keep this in mind. And again, we don't have complete evidence that it's the Israelis who did this, but given past actions from the Israelis, this is fairly consistent with what they've done, okay? So we can assume that this is something the Israelis did. Why they did this, what the purpose is something we will discuss as we move on, okay? It's very complicated. Next, I want to show you this. This is Dubai. And Dubai is considered one of the wealthiest, safest cities in the world. There are thousands, tens of thousands of Westerners who move to Dubai because it's clean, you don't pay any taxes, you make a lot of money, and there are great restaurants. And this is really the economic model of Dubai. It's one of the GCC countries, okay? The Gulf coastal countries. And for the longest time, Dubai had a really good deal because they were under the protection of the American military. So they didn't have to pay for defense. And then they were in the Middle East, which is the oil producing center of the world. And so they focus on aviation, they focus on logistics, they focus on finance, on tourism. They became extremely wealthy, right? I'm not sure if you've taken Emirates, one of the best airlines in the world. So their airport, Dubai Airport, is the busiest in the world. And Dubai, for the longest time, was flourishing under American.
By the way, the Crown Plaza that was hit was the hotel I stayed in. It's very popular. They hit that hotel. A lot of Westerners stay there, you know, in the Crown Plaza Hotel, which they hit. That could be the smoke rising up right there. Let's see if JS, if this is working. Hold on, let me see here. I think, check. Let's see if JS is going to work here. Go ahead, JS, talk. I may not be able to speak, but... Can you hear me? Check. Can you hear me? Check. 1 2 1 2. I had this problem before. My system hijacks my voice. Jazz, can you hear me? Jazz, say something. It says I'm disconnected. I'm connecting. Jazz, if you're listening, you can just talk. Listen to the stream and talk. I'll talk through the stream because my system, but you can just talk. All right? You can just talk. Whenever you want to talk, Jazz, just pop in and talk on there, on this here. All right, let's go. Listen on here.
Protection. And Dubai said to the world, listen, we're like Switzerland. We're neutral. We don't want any involvement in any wars. We're here just to take care of our citizens, to make sure everyone has a good time, to make money. And then right after the war started, the Iranians attacked the GCC, okay? Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, they attacked these places. And these places were like, what's going on? We're neutral, man. We're not involved in this war. And the airport was shut down in Dubai. At one point, the rich people in Dubai were willing to pay about $250,000 US just to get on a plane and get out of there. Okay? So, the reality is this. For the longest time, Dubai had a reputation for being safe, and that's why people moved their money there. Guess what, guys? After what the Iranians did, it's dead. Dubai as a city, in the long term, it is dead. Because you're a wealthy Westerner, you're not going to move to a place where it could be attacked anytime by the Iranians. You might move to Singapore, you might move to Hong Kong, Japan, South America, but you're not moving to Dubai, okay? So the big question for us is, why do the Iranians do this? If it was the Israelis and the Americans who attacked you, why go after the GCC? All right? And not only that, but they're escalating the attacks against the GCC. So it's something that we will look at very closely today. Well, the short answer is because these places, even though they pretend to be neutral, they house the American military. They allow the Israelis and the Americans to use their airspace to attack Iran from. All right? So this is Bahrain. Now, Bahrain is interesting, okay? Because I want you guys to remember this. But Bahrain will probably be one of the major centers of this conflict. Because, first of all, this is the American Fifth Fleet. All right? This is their naval base in the Middle East. And as you can see, the Iranians are attacking it with missiles. And it's being blown up. Bahrain is interesting because it has about 50% or even more, okay, Shia, which is the religion of the Iranians. Yeah. But the people in charge are the Sunnis. Yeah. And so what makes this strike really important from our perspective is, first of all, not only are the Iranians attacking U.S. military assets, not only are they destroying the economies of the GCC, but they're also trying to ignite a religious war. Right? Because you're Shia, you're loyal to the Ayatollah. Yep. And if he's dead, then you must, as a religious obligation, now commit jihad against your enemies.
Killing Americans.
It's no different in other religions where, listen, if you want to kill the Pope, the Catholics would be really angry at you. And they would
go kill the Pope and see what happens to you. Go kill the Pope and then walk down some patty little background. And that's the deal. That's why, so you're understanding why 14 countries, America, or say now to 14 countries, leave, get out. But is the State Department helping the 20,000 odd or whatever that we have? There are so many tech bros in Dubai, so many individuals there, right? It's on it. Yeah, Greater Israel. It's never about a dual state on it. So you starting to understand, and you're right. You said no, and they don't understand. The Americans are ignorant. Trump is ignorant. See, you have to understand. There's something called Dunning-Kruger, right? Dunning-Kruger. Trump is a classic Dunning-Kruger. He thinks that he's smart. He's so dumb. He thinks he's smart, and it's like you ask him like, how do you make your decisions? I make my own decisions. I'm so smart. I'm the smartest of them all. Right? I don't need to listen to you. But sir, no, I don't need to listen. So the way they sold him this war, let me explain to you how they sold him this war. Mr. President, we're sending 3 fleets. We're sending not one aircraft carrier. We're sending 3 aircraft carriers. This amount of power. We're sending so much power. This is bigger than any wartime. You will be in command of the biggest goddamn army. We are America. They can't. And this is Pete Hegseth. Right? They can't stop us. Do you think they're thinking about the cock and balls? Remember the cock and balls, right? Always remember the cock. They think about the cock and balls. Now, some analyst was trying. No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're going to do this. We're American. We have the most powerful army. We have the best soldiers, right? And the thing is that the lesson learned is that these people are so fucking dumb stupid. I mean, look what happened to Russia. Russia can't move their fleet around. You're going to start to move your fucking fleet through these straits, right? Up the straits and down the straits. That's not a place for aircraft carriers. That's not a place that's fucking scary. My dad went to Annapolis, right? You don't want to put your ships, right? In classic naval warfare, you never want to put your ships in a place where they can't move around and always be moving and hidden and off. Now, you don't want to put them in a place where you can ping them with radar and then you can send unmanned drones. I don't know if you guys heard about the Ukrainians with their little drones. You know, Iran is like the drone manufacturing capital of the fucking planet, right? You know, that's all they do is make drones, right? They got a shit ton of them. So this is the reality you have to start to understand, wrap your head around. We can't win this war, right? The best case is for Trump to say, oh, we won, and back the fuck out, right? But I don't know. Here's the thing that doesn't work, because you killed the fucking Pope. You killed the Pope. You killed the Dalai Lama. You killed Jesus. All right, for all you Christians, imagine if Jesus is alive. You killed fucking Jesus or one of the disciples, or up there. You killed Peter, Paul, whatever on there. So understand that this shit ain't gonna end.
So now you have the Shia who will probably eventually arise, creating a revolution.
Yeah.
In Bahrain. Okay, so I think Bahrain will be the first to fall. Dubai will probably go bankrupt. Okay, but in the long term, we can expect the entire GCC area, including Saudi Arabia, to eventually collapse, okay? And so this is something we'll use game theory to understand. All right, let's continue. So we will know how this war develops just based on geography, okay? So this is a map. And this map,
mountains.
Even if you don't really know the war, even if you don't know the participants, even if you don't know the weaponry, this map will tell you exactly how this war will progress. All right, so some certain things to keep in mind about this map. This is what we call this area, okay? Really small, but it's 33 kilometers wide, okay? People can swim.
Look, he drew a ball. That's the ball. That's the ball right there. That's the ball. They're the balls right there. Okay? He's talking about the balls right there, MAGA. The MAGA balls.
Across it. It's really, really
there it is. The balls. There's the
narrow,
ball.
Okay? This small area, guys, it's called the Strait of Hormuz. Alright? And it's important because it's really the center of the world. This one area is the nexus, the pivot of the world.
Yep.
Let me explain why.
Yep.
First of all,
Listen.
from the GCC, you have 20% of all the world's oil flowing through this narrow strait. Where does it go, guys? It goes to Asia, India, Pakistan, South Korea, China, Japan. India depends on 60% of its oil from this area. China depends on 40%. Japan, 75%. Prime Minister Takaichi of Japan has said that, listen, if the Strait of Hormuz closes, we'll run out of oil in about 8-9 months. The entire Japanese economy would collapse in 8-9 months.
In Japan.
If the Strait of Hormuz were to close. And guess what? The Iranians have closed the Strait of Hormuz.
No.
Okay? So we can expect that the entire global economy will suffer greatly over the next few months. All right, so that's
What do I mean? What do you mean? What do I mean? What do you mean? But when I say cock and balls, right? That's the balls, the straight, and then the big straight is the cock. Right on there. It's not, dude. It's not. They're not that smart. They're not that smart. You know. I think they're not. They're dumb fucks, dude. P-Check, Steph, Trump, you know, they're dumb fucks. They just think, oh, we're gonna do something that no one else would do. And Trump, see, understand, Trump wants to collapse everything because it's the only way he's gonna stay in power. But yes and no. If everything collapses and this war, you know, collapses all the way, I think it's 70%, dude. I think I need to go buy gas. Gas hasn't gone up here yet. Gas hasn't gone up here yet. I'm thinking right now, I need to go out and pre-buy about $1,000 worth of gas. I'm thinking I want to go pre-buy. I want to like pre-buy my gas from my local gas station. You know, and say, listen, here's $1,000. I want to pre-buy my fucking gas for the next. I'm thinking I want to do that. I want to buy it now. Yeah. On there. It hasn't in Japan. News is slow. Listen up.
Point number one. Point number two is, okay, so the GCC sends oil across the Strait of Hormuz, and what do they get back in return? Food, guys.
90%.
All right, so
90% of their food.
People don't appreciate the GCC, but it is really the linchpin of the American empire. Because what is the American empire? The American empire is the petrodollar. All right? The idea of the petrodollar is this. The US dollar is worth nothing. It's only valuable when people want it. But the GCC says that if you want oil from us, you have to pay us in US dollars. Okay? Then that is the basis of the value of the US dollar. So, if the GCC collapses, the American economy and the American empire both collapse at the same time. The problem, though, is the GCC is an artificial construct of empire. It does not exist naturally. Why? Because there's no food, there's no oil, no water. Okay, guys? No food, no water. So these cities are able to grow in the millions because of all these petrodollars flowing in. If you close off the Strait of Hormuz, there's no food coming in, right? They're all going to starve. How much food does the GCC get from overseas? 80%. 80% of all the food it consumes comes from 90%. Overseas, that it imports. It doesn't grow by itself, it imports. All right? So the Strait of Hormuz is really key. And again, the Iranians will close it in order to strangle the global economy and therefore bankrupt the American empire. All right? Second thing you will notice is these mountains. These mountains is what we call Iran. All right, this is Iran. This is GCC. Okay, this is not a fair matchup, right? Because these are mountains. And what can you do in mountains? Well, you can hide rocket bases. You can hide drone bases. You can hide missiles. And that's the entire Iranian offensive strategy. All right? From here, they can hide missiles and drones from which to attack the GCC. And what are they attacking? They're attacking three things, right? They're attacking American military bases. American military bases. That's number one. Okay? Is it possible for the Americans to defend against these attacks? The answer is no. It's not. It's the silliest thing in the world. You have all these bases in the Middle East, but you cannot defend them against the Iranians. That's kind of strange. Okay, but that's number one. Number two is oil and energy. How hard is it to blow up an oil field with a drone? Not hard at all. Can you defend these oil fields? No, you cannot. All right? Number three, and that's most important, is water.
Water, desalinization.
Okay? You guys don't know this, but
this is huge. This is huge, right? This is when you realize this right now, you realize how fucked we are right here. Listen.
DC has little access to fresh water. So the only way that it can produce water is what we call desalination plants, okay? These factories that take salt water and then through electrical chemical process turn it into fresh water for the population to use. 60% of the water supply in the GCC comes from desalination plants, okay? 60%.
Yeah, but that's actually it's actually not true because it rounds up at 60%. But like Kuwait gets 90%. Some other place gets 40, another place gets 6. I mean, it's crazy, but it rounds up. So it's not like they're all split up. It's like depending on where they are. Kuwait's the worst, by the way, on it.
This desalination plant using a drone. The answer is it's very easy. Yeah. You understand? Okay. So you have this absurd situation where Iran is a mountain fortress where it can hide its offensive capacity. And the GCC, it's just this desert, this flat desert, and it is exposed to attack, and there's nothing it can do about it, okay? So at any point in this war, the Iranians can choose to just destroy the entire GCC, and there's nothing that anyone can do about it. Okay, but Iran also has a weakness, okay? And this is fundamental. So Iran also has a water problem, okay? So for the longest time, they suffered a drought issue, okay? Just climate change. And so what the plan of the Israelis and Americans is destroy the water supply of the Iranians. Because the fortress, it is a mountain fortress, but it can also be a mountain prison as well, where people are trapped inside with no access to water. Okay, so what we're going to see right now, we're already seeing attacks on civilian infrastructure, hospitals. In the future, you'll see attacks on water supply, on dams, on reservoirs, on power plants. The point, the idea is to make Iran so inhabitable that the people will have to rebel against the people, or there'll be a refugee crisis in Iran. Okay? So as you can see from this map, this war, it is the end of the world. Okay? Both sides have the potential to destroy each other. And it's really a question of how far do they want to go. All right? We can also say this is almost a game of chicken.
It's really, yeah, it's really about how far Trump wants to go. And how soon can the American people, the reason why I'm making this thing, can wake up to this reality. You're not going to hear this on the mainstream media, right? You're not going to hear this. But this stuff is just, it's simple, right? Iran has us by the fucking balls, the Strait. They're already starting to squeeze. And the longer they squeeze, the worse it gets for Trump. The more desperate. So that's why you're seeing him trying to get the Sunnis attacking. That's why that's why people are talking about they're going to nuke, right? They're going to nuke Iran. But it's mountainous, right? It's a mountainous. You'd probably have to drop a couple nukes in there. But maybe nuking Tehran, would that end it? I don't think so. I think that would raise up the entire. I think that would, if they nuke Iran to try to get a solution, I think that would ultimately cause all the Muslims in the world to want to destroy. All right, let's see, what time is it? Come get me at 4:30. All right, that's my son. So this is so important for you to understand, right? When I say the cock and balls, the strait and this the Strait of Hormuz, right? Hormuz on it.
Okay. We can blow each other up. How far do you want to go? And the problem is this. The problem is that the Iranians are Shia, which believes in martyrdom. And you've killed the religious leader, the Ayatollah Khamenei. So they're willing to go very, very far. The GCC countries are Muslim, but they're materialistic. They love money. And also, most of the population are expatriates, foreigners. 9% of Dubai are foreigners. Guess what's going to happen if they suffer? They're going to run away. Okay? So this is not a fair matchup. The big question that people have is, first of all, are the Americans going to use ground troops? Because the only way that you can defeat Iran is by using ground troops, okay? That's a big question we will look at in the next few weeks. Will America send its army? 500,000, 2 million soldiers to topple the government. Okay, that's question number one. Question number two, nuclear weapons. If you're losing a war, would you choose to use nuclear weapons? Okay, that's another big question that we have, okay? Now, another big question that we have is who gets involved? Because this situation is so dire that Europe, okay, specifically Germany, France, and Britain are talking about entering this war. And guess what? If that happens, it is possible that Russia and China will also enter this war on the side of the Iranians. This is World War III, okay? Because of the importance of the Strait of Hormuz, because of the importance of the Middle East, everyone has to get involved at some point. Right. And we're going to use game theory to really try to understand what's happening on the ground and where this could lead us. Okay? All right. You guys understand? All right. All right. Let's continue. Okay, so again, there are American bases all over the Middle East. And originally, these bases were established to protect them from basically their own people, okay? These are monarchies that were imposed on these nations by the Anglo-American Empire, the British first, and then the Americans came to support these monarchies. And so they provide defense. But then you're like, wait a minute here. I mean, didn't we just say that these American bases can't actually defend these people, that they're exposed? And the answer is, yes, that's true. But remember that the American military was built during the Cold War. Okay? And the Cold War was a war between the Soviet Union and...
Yeah, this is important, right? All of, it's funny because, look, we've decapitated Libya, we've decapitated Syria, we've decapitated Iran, right? They're all mess. Iran is the last one. And then after Iran, there's Turkey. So, it's like it's been our imperialistic, our greed, our desire for their oil, really their materials. And in many respects, Iran is the last of the Muslim strongholds. And like he pointed out, 60% of the gas, 75% of the gas in Japan, like 9 months we're out of gas here. We may be running out of gas. Fuck. That is just crazy on that. Any questions? Are you enjoying the show? You have any questions for me I can answer? Anyone have any questions? Here's the solution. Here's the solution. Impeach Trump. Impeach Trump. Say we're sorry. Impeach Trump. Saying, listen, impeach that bitch. Get him out. I think our only solution is to impeach these motherfuckers. And he's not going to talk about this, but I want to do a little pivot here. This attack, like, why would Trump attack Iran? Right? Trump has repeatedly said that he's impressed by Ukraine and that he didn't have to have any elections. Have you guys heard that at all? Thank you very much. You understand that Trump. I want to pivot and talk about Trump a little bit. Let me give you a. You see, flattery does get you places. You see that? Flattery gets you places. You understand, Trump is petrified of November. Okay? Trump and his administration, Steve Bannon, if they lose November, they're fucked. And it doesn't look good for them. They gerrymandered. Let's talk about what's going on in America right now, and this explains to you why we're doing this. I want to pivot now back to America so you understand why this is happening. It is the Epstein files distraction. All of a sudden, remember Clinton's testified, and then all of a sudden there's war, right? You know, Clinton was saying, hey, if I'm there, then you should be there. If I can be there, then Trump should be there, right? So it was looking bad for Clinton. It turns out in 2019 that there was a case where a woman claimed that when she was 13 to 14, she was assaulted and raped by Trump. That came out, right? That all came out like last week before last. So, and the Epstein file thing, they thought they would like throw it out there. Now it's organized. You can go to unxxx.com. You can go and do your own research. For X's, the unredact, right? Unxxx or unx at antifafm.com, right? Unxxx 4X's. I set it up. Unxxxx 4X's, right? .com. Get it unredacted. So there is tremendous pressure coming down on Trump, right? And then on the back of his mind, there's this little fucker in Ukraine who's never had to have an election. And I think maybe there is like video of him. All right, I really don't want to lose this guy. I like this guy. All right. So you know, the gerrymandering of Texas hasn't worked out for him. He lost seats that they had won before. They lost. So the gerrymandering is already losing, right? So they lost a Republican seat in Texas that they've held for like 50 years. 50 years. And last time they won it by like plus 20 points. They lost it by 11. So that's a 30-point swing. So it turns out that the gerrymandering of Texas is fucking the GOP. And I got to do a shout out for the guy who called this out first. And who is it? What's his name? Fuck is his name? What's his name? Oh, that's Rich. Oh, that's Rich. Okay. Oh, that's Rich. I want to shout out to Oh, that's Rich. If you don't follow Oh, that's Rich, someone write his name in the chat. Someone write his name in the chat. Oh, that's Rich. Oh, that is Rich is the first podcaster who fucking, when it was happening and everyone was freaking out, he was like, wait a minute. Oh, that's Rich. He was like, listen, they're going to fuck themselves. I think it's O-H. Oh, I don't think it's two O's. Oh, that's Rich. One word. At. Oh, that's Rich. So turn that first O Spooner, into an at symbol. At, oh, that's rich. Everything else is right. Oh, that's rich. So he said at the time, he's like, this ain't going to work out, right? Because he said the margins, and he was right. He turned out to be right. The margins that Trump needs is, no, this year, right? It's 2026 though. This year, midterms, right? More, it's midterms. So there is a chance, right? There is a good chance. I think there's a good chance that Trump could lose the House and the Senate this midterms. It's a small chance, but I think it's a carpe diem, dude. It's God. God's gonna fucking. If I don't believe in God, but I'm saying if you're a religious figure, right? It'll be Jesus. Jesus is going to take away the devil, right? All right. I think it's more than. I think there's a good chance that Trump loses not only the House, which is highly likely, but also the Senate, which is smaller. Okay. And as a result of that, he's all fucked. Now, because of that desperation, and Stephen Bannon said, listen, we have to, if we lose, we go to jail. And it's true. All these people have been grifting, all these folks have been, they've just been grifting all of America. All these Epstein class motherfuckers have been yeah, you're right, BB. I've been grifting America. They're going to go to jail. All these investigations into Polymark, all this stuff going on, moving, who was ever involved, touching the fucking money from Venezuela to, Emirates and all this stuff. And the reality is they're desperate. So what do you do when you're desperate? You do a desperate measure. And the desperate measure was this attack. This attack is simply an extension of the Epstein files. Extension, they want things to collapse. Right? Maybe this is their plan. Maybe this is the white swan event. Attacking Iran is the white swan event. Game it out real quick. It causes all the markets to crash. Everyone now, China comes in. There is World War III. Oh, I can't leave power. And what's really crazy is like these motherfuckers, they got billions of dollars. What is it? Why did they want to fuck up the world? This is where I don't get it. You're like Elon Musk, you've got billions and billions of dollars. Why don't you just fucking retire and spend your time playing? Why do you have to fucking fuck everything up? Can anyone explain that? Kamaga, can you explain it to me? Can any fucking explain? This is where I can't wrap my head around. I just can't get it. I don't get it. Oh, let's start another war. Let's start World War III. Let's fucking crash everything. Let's, and it's just because the only solution, the only explanation that I can think of, they're just fucking stupid. They're stupid. I don't think it's their mentality. They're just stupid. It's like why this image is so good, right? The image I use, right? The image I use here is so perfect for explaining Trump and, all these, where the fuck is it? What happened? Ain't it not on here? Gotta go find it. It took it off. Alright, it took it off. Where is it? Where the fuck is it? Where is the head up your ass video? There it is. There's my favorite image, dude. There's my favorite image because, right? They got their head up their ass. Okay, they got their head up their ass. So they're just stupid. I mean, they don't have the cognitive ability to ask a simple question. Let's game this out. Let's apply game theory. What is the worst scenario? Do we really want this? It's all about ego. It's all about I'm right and you're wrong, and we don't give a fuck, right? And this is the problem, and this is the classic Dunning-Kruger, right? Dunning-Kruger. There was a guy who explained Dunning-Kruger. Let's see if I can find it. Dunning-Kruger. All right, you have to listen to this guy here.
Two American psychologists named Dunning and Kruger.
Same dude.
There's something Dunning-Kruger effect.
This is it. This is same
And so what they
dude.
did was this. They ran an experiment. They had 500 students in their psychology class, first year university. They made every student take an IQ test. And then after they took the IQ test, they asked each student, how do you think you did on the IQ test? Do you place in the top 5% or the bottom 5%? And it turns out that no one got the ranking correct. Okay, so those who were in the top 5% in terms of IQ thought they were maybe in the top 20% because for them it was easy, so they assumed for everyone else it was easy as well. But what was dramatic is that those who scored the lowest thought they were average. Okay, so the worst 5% in the class thought they were in the top 50% or just average. And the reason why is those people who are stupid lack the capacity to know they're stupid. Okay? So what Dunning-Kruger discovered is that the hardest part of being a student is to assess yourself properly, to know exactly where you stand and how to improve. Those who are stupid are often the most confident in the world. That's what's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. And this helps to explain why the world is why it is. Because often the people in power are stupid. They don't know they're stupid. They were confident, and they do stupid things like Donald Trump, okay? There are two American psychologists named Dunning and Kruger. Dunning-Kruger effect.
I mean, Trump is even to the extreme of that because Trump is like, he's like the dumbest guy in the class. He knows he's the dumbest guy in the class, right? But in order to cope by being he knows he's the fucking dumb fuck. He's the dumbest in the class. But in order for him to cope with it, he says he's the brightest. He's the smartest. I mean, there must be a special level of Dunning-Kruger, right? Oh, I got it for you. I come up with something new. It's called the mega or the MAGA Dunning-Kruger, right? The MAGA Dunning-Kruger. They're the ones, right? Like the ultra Dunning-Kruger. There is a special class of Dunning-Kruger. It's called the ultra Dunning-Kruger. Trump is in it, right? And what's this? Oh, what's his channel name? His channel name, okay, is Professor. Actually, Al. Hold on. It's Professor Zhang or Zing or whatever. What the fuck, dude?
America. And so the Cold War was defined as something called MAD, mutually assured destruction.
Yeah, it's his channel is called Predictive History. Predictive History, and this is called Game Theory Number 9, U.S. Around War, right? This guy is really interesting because he actually predicted. It's Predictive History. I don't know if that's his channel or not. Is that his channel? Let me see here. Yeah, it's his channel. It's his channel, Predictive History. One word, @Predictive History, right? Yeah, @Predictive History. He's got a whole bunch. It's him. Look, he's got a bunch of stuff, dude. Look, he's got a bunch of stuff. He's gone crazy. Look, he's got 15 minutes ago. He's got a video for 15 minutes. We should watch it. Let's watch.
We continue our discussion of the U.S.-Iran war that is happening right now. So, as you know, I made the prediction that the United States will lose this war. In last class, we did an overview of the military and strategic position. And today, we're going to provide some theoretical framework for how to understand how this war will progress and why ultimately I believe the United States will lose this war. Today I present to you a very important idea in game theory. And once you understand this idea, you understand why things will turn out the way they do. Okay, it's called a law of asymmetry. Okay, law of asymmetry. And all this is saying is that the United States and Iran are not peers. They're not equals. The United States is far stronger than Iran. And we should expect the United States to overwhelm and destroy Iran really easily. The law of asymmetry states that that's usually not the case. It's usually the underdog that has the advantage. And we see this from history all the time. Okay, so when the Persians in about 490 BC invaded mainland Greece against Athens and Sparta, Persia at that time was the first world empire. It had infinite resources, infinite manpower, infinite wealth. And it lost to the Greeks not once but twice. And then the Macedonians under Alexander the Greek, and they were like a tribal army, not a very large army. They were able to go into Persia, and Persia at the time was basically most of Eurasia, and conquered it in about 10 years' time. The Romans started off as a tribal people, which then built the Mediterranean Empire. Then you had the Aztecs.
Yeah, Curly, it was a GOP guy, Tim Sheely, whatever. I played the video. God, I mean, I busted my arm, right, my elbow. So hearing that his elbow bust like that, there are all those people getting sued. The police department. Oh my God, that guy is a multimillionaire, dude. The police department. There was like 5 guys. You guys want to see that again? You guys want to watch that again, or you want to continue with this? What do you want to watch? 1, to watch his arm get popped out again, right? Or 0, continue on this. 1 or 0. Please vote right now. 1 or 0. What do you want to do? I'll play it again. Let's put it to the community. You want to see his arm get popped out? Mark. 1, 0, 1. Looks like the ones are winning. You guys want to see his arm get popped out again? God damn, you guys. I put it on my channel, by the way. I put it on my channel. All right? I put it on the channel. Where is it? I put a short one on there, too. Hold on. Let me switch my channel. Switch account. I put it on... Yeah, I did it.
No one wants to fight for Israel!
His hand, his hand! Oh, his hand!
Oh my God. Sir. No one wants to fight for Israel!
His hand, his hand! Oh, his hand!
Oh my God. Sir. No one wants to fight for Israel!
His hand, his hand! Oh, his hand!
Guys, it's on Antifa FM, dude. It's on Antifa FM, right? It's on. Go to Antifa. Go to Antifa FM. All right, it's on Antifa FM. Get a like, right on there. You can see my reaction. I got it there. I got it. And to go to Antifa FM, give it a like. He couldn't. His arm was trapped. His arm was trapped. His hand was trapped behind the door. The door was closed on it, right? And they were yanking him, right? They had 5 guys fucking pulling on him. Look how many guys are pulling on him. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 guys getting sued. Right? This 5 guys.
No one wants to fight for Israel.
His hand. Oh, his hand.
The senator, the thing is, what actually makes this worse, the senator yanks on him after you hear the fucking bones go click, 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 like, you know, comes out. The senator is yanking on him after the sound. All right. Yeah, he ran away. He fucking ran away, Curly. That fucker ran away. He ran away. Yeah, give a like. Look. Look, I already got 4. Look, I think I already got 4. Look, I've got 4 people have done my Israel. And Israel paid Sheely 700,000 plus. More than 700,000. That's what we know of. He's paid more by Israel. All right? That poor kid, dude. Anyway. You guys want to go back? I know it's sick, dude. You guys want this asymmetric warfare? You guys ready to continue class? You guys need a pee break? Guys, it was crazy. Dude, this channel, dude, it was crazy with the amount of people that were in here. You guys were whacking the fuck out of them. You guys were whacking the fuck out of MAGA, weren't you? You guys were destroying them. You guys are fucking destroying them earlier. The bot was going crazy. I was just talking and just watching you guys. I know and there was this whack. Oh, it was funny. Lots of lurkers are in here. Yeah. Well, I did. Hey, I set the channel up good. You know, it was good. You know, on that. I did it good. That's a big show today on that. But this guy's good, asymmetric. But it's really not, it's not complicated, right? They've got us by the fucking balls, dude. The cock and balls. They got us by the cock and balls, right? That's how you need to talk to MAGA. We're going to lose. Why are we going to lose? They got us by the cock and balls, bitch. What do you mean the cock and balls? Well, you know, let me grab you by the balls. How long can you hold? I'm going to just keep squeezing harder and harder. You let me know when you tap out. Tap out. Tap out, right? Tap out. Are you going to tap out? I'm going to hold your fucking ball. I keep squeezing, right? And they're right. I mean, it's like, can you imagine all of the fucking shit? Like they're in high ground with drones and shit, low ground, all desert. You can't, you know, what makes it is like, we got to go back to this guy. We got to go. Let's take a break from our Chinese professor. Let's go back to this guy.
Iran to open another front in this war against Iran.
All right, let's go. Let's pivot. Let's go to pivot. Hold on. Let's get him on the speaker. Let's pivot. You guys get your beer? 3. I got to go get Mikey. We're gonna leave here in a moment. We got to leave here in a moment. All right. Upgrade. What's going on here? Why is this not connecting? All right, let's listen to this guy. We're going to pivot back and forth. We're going to pivot to this guy right here. All right, here. We're going to pivot to him. Okay. Let's switch this around here. Let's switch this around here. Okay, switch this around here. Actually, let's switch this around here. Actually, I could have used that one. Thanks a lot there, Premhit. Well, this channel's not, by the way, listen, this channel, usually I'm driving around, guys. Usually I'm driving around and we're just trolling MAGA, okay? But I'm happy to be here coding. I'm coding and stuff. and I came across these videos. I was like, oh, I got to make a video of this stuff here. So I appreciate the support. You know, usually I'm just listening to usually we're just listening to fake fuck Christian people loving Nazi music. I mean, literally that's what it is. You know, on where is the YouTube? Let's see. Fake fuck Christian people loving Nazi. You guys need to get a drink. You guys done your piss thing in shower? Was it how they say it? All right. Why is it not showing? Did I kill my stream? Did I kill my stream? Where's my stream? Return to studio. Where's my stream? Go live. Manage. It says it's really weird. It's really weird. On my YouTube channel, look. This is really weird. Look. This is fucking weird. I'm being ghosted on the YouTube channel. Look. On my YouTube channel here, look, there's no live. Latest. Right? There's no live. I should have live. But if I go to my streamer, there it is. It's live. Okay? This is, it was 12 hours ago. Isn't that crazy? If I go here, your channel, all right, go to live. See, that's live. But on my phone, I'm on the channel. There's no live on my phone. Isn't that interesting? Anyone have any ideas why this is? I've never seen that before. You notice that? That on my phone, there's no live, but there's a live, but no live here. Let's click this here. That is the live. But I'm not getting the live thing. It is live.
You scream God's will while you're chaining up babies. Your rallies are right, best your prayers are rabies. You fuck up kids, future for a tax cut for ladies. Your holy wars, just a hard on for Hades. Fake fuck Christian pedo loving Nazi bleeding. Repeat, repeat, till your church is collapsed. Repeat, repeat, till your lies hit a lie. Repeat, repeat, till your kids break the trap. Repeat, repeat, till your face in the sky. Fake fuck Christian pedo loving Nazi cruiser. Fake fuck Christian pedo loving Nazi murder. Fake fuck Christian pedo loving Nazi.
I'll tell you what, guys. You guys want to go for a walk? It's nice outside. You guys, I feel like going for a walk. We can listen to this. Let's go for a walk. Let's go for a walk. Let's go for a walk. I'll show you around my neighborhood. Let's get out. Take a break from this. Walk around. I'll show you what like living in Japan. Thanks. Appreciate all that. I'm just plugging this in to make sure that my phone is going to charge. Charge this up. Let's see, that one's got power. That's got power. We're good for power. Making sure this shit's charging. All right. All right, let's go. Let's go take a walk. Oh, hold on. Let me switch the to my. Any of you guys turn off your cellular network when you go inside the house? Anyone do that? I do that. I don't trust fucking cell phone providers. I'm not surprised. I'm not kidding. They would be. They fucking would be. You know I'm on a fucking list. You know I'm on a list there, right? What are you? What's your story there, Pram? Channel activity. 13 years. Yeah, good. All right, I'm giving you blues so that way they think you're part of Antifa. I'm giving you blue. You're all voice of America. Let's go outside. I'm gonna show you. Let's go for a walk. I've been sitting down all day coding and talking to you guys. It seems like it's a beautiful day. Look, sun's out. Let me grab myself a little citrus. Oh God, I just broke off a bunch of my. I'll see if there's any bees on my tree. Where's all the white women? Not here. I don't know. In the chat, Cindy Prim's in here. Hey, Cindy. Let's go for a walk. Yesterday I went for an MRI, or last week I went for an MRI. Just a little story, so you give you an idea of what medical costs. I had that like lower back pain, and I wanted to know what it is. I think I'm gonna actually. You know what? I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna have another specialist look at my. Here's the problem. I'm sorry if it's windy. Is it windy? Look, I got fishing. There's 42 species of fish, 48 species of fish in our river here. Look, you come here and go fishing right down here. Good old fishing here. If you like fishing, Japan's got some of the best fishing out there. They built this private walkway for me. They built this walkway because I'm fat, and they were like, "Yo, you fat fuck, you need to get your walk on." So they built this whole walkway just for me. You know, they built it for me so I could lose weight. You gotta love Japan. So accommodating. Yeah, there's no one around. Is the wind bad? Is it windy? It is. Oh, I got you in my sleeve. I don't know. Are you hitting the wind? Is the wind bad? These are, you know, I wanted to try something. I'm going to try one of these dried out persimmons. They've got persimmons growing on this tree from last year, and they're really, look at the persimmons here. You see the persimmons here? Look at this here. Look at these persimmons. I bet they're... Nah, let's try this one over here. Smell the fermentation in them. I thought they would be sweet and chewy, but they're not. They're just dried out. I thought they'd be kind of like a fig, but look, they're no, not what I expected. Oh, that's probably too windy. It's really windy now. Can you hear the wind? Let's put on the radio here.
And all this is deeply ironic because Trump was elected on the promise that he would be a so-called peace president and he would not wage any more wars. But Trump has been openly saying that this war that the U.S. is waging against Iran, an illegal war of aggression, could go on for several weeks or far longer.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you guys hear about the reports that senior military individuals saying that this is like a religious war? Did you guys hear about that? Did you guys hear about that? There's reports. There's U.S. servicemen said that their superior officer are framing this as some sort of fucking religious war, right? And you know, like Christian rights, fucking crazy shit, dude. Yeah, he wants to be a wartime president. Trump, look, get rid of this fucking crazy dude. Look, Trump is Jesus. Yeah, Jesus. Fucking Jesus. We get him in here. God damn. That's crazy.
He said. But in the meantime, this war is getting larger and larger by the day because Israel is also expanding this war. Israel has now invaded Lebanon.
If you're a native or fluent English-speaking Western expat living
Get out of here, bitch.
and you're looking for a new...
Sorry, ladies.
And what Israel is now trying to do is reoccupy southern Lebanon. Back in 1982, Israel invaded South Lebanon and occupied the area for nearly 2 decades, until 2000, when indigenous resistance groups inside Lebanon expelled the Israeli occupiers. Well, now Israel is taking advantage of this regional war to reoccupy southern Lebanon, opening another front in this growing international war. But that's not all, because Israel is likewise using this
and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier. But we had no wars. They said, he will start a war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars.
Just a few weeks ago, Trump launched an organization that he calls the Board of Peace, which in reality was an attempt by the U.S. to replace the United Nations with a privatized pro-war organization that only the U.S. can control. But all this is totally crazy and Orwellian. Trump now has the world record for bombing more countries than any other U.S. president. And I'm not trying to absolve other U.S. presidents. All presidents in the modern history of the U.S. have been war criminals who have carried out illegal wars of aggression abroad. If you look at the past 4 presidents in the past 25 years, since 2001, that's George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Trump, and Joe Biden. Together, these presidents have waged war on 10 countries. Trump is the only one who has attacked all 10 countries when you combine his first and second terms. In 2025 alone, the first year of his presidency, Trump bombed 7 countries, and now we can also add Ecuador. So Trump has attacked 11 countries in his 2 terms as president, including Afghanistan, Iraq, Yemen, Pakistan, Somalia, Libya, Syria, Venezuela, Nigeria, Iran, and now Ecuador. And he has 3 more years. So who knows how many more countries he's going to attack in the next few years. And by the way, while all this is happening, Trump is also threatening to attack longtime U.S. allies, including Spain, a member of the European Union, because Spain has really been a thorn in the side of the U.S. empire in the past few years. Spain currently has a left-wing government led by the Spanish Socialist Workers' Party, and the left-wing government of Spain has been the only country in the EU that has been openly opposing Trump's illegal war of aggression against Iran. Trump has been demanding that countries in Europe let the U.S. military use their bases in order to attack Iran. And the UK is allowing the U.S. to use its military bases. However, Spain is not. The Spanish government has told the U.S. that it cannot use Spanish military bases in order to launch strikes on Iran. And the Spanish government has condemned this war, saying that it's illegal and violates international law, which is objectively true, by the way. So you know what Trump's response has been? He's now threatening to attack Spain. Listen to the following remarks in the White House when Trump was holding a press briefing with the leader of Germany sitting right next to him, another member of the EU. And by the way, I'll talk about Germany's Chancellor Friedrich Merz, who's a right-wing U.S. puppet. He totally went along with this, and he also threatened Spain. But listen to these comments here, where Trump threatens to, 1, impose an embargo on Spain to cut off all trade between Spain and the U.S. as a form of economic warfare to force Spain to allow the U.S. to use its military bases to attack Iran. That was the first part of Trump's threat. But then secondly, he also says that the U.S. can simply invade Spain, attack Spain, and forcibly take over its military bases in order to attack Iran. This is an absolutely crazy comment made by the U.S. president in the White House, sitting next to the German leader, threatening so-called ally Spain, a fellow EU member.
Unlock your stay for less with app-exclusive prices. Download the free Booking.com app today.
Welcome to Ray Biotype Life Inc., a biotech company born in Atlanta, Georgia.
Some of the European nations have been helpful and some haven't. And I'm, very surprised. Germany's been great. He's been terrific. Others have been very good, terrific. I think that the head of NATO, Mark, is fantastic. Okay, Mark Rutte. I think he's fantastic. But some of the European, like Spain, has been terrible. In fact, I told Scott to cut off all dealings with Spain. First of all, it started when every European nation, at my request, paid 5%, which they should be doing. And everybody was enthusiastic about it, Germany, everybody. And Spain didn't do it. And now Spain actually said that we can't use their bases, and that's all right. We could use their base if we want. We could just fly in and use it. Nobody's going to tell us not to use it, but we don't have to. But they were unfriendly, and so I told them we don't want to. Spain has absolutely nothing that we need other than great people. They have great people, but they don't have great leadership. And as you know, they were the only country that in NATO would not agree to go up to 5%. I don't think they would have agreed to go up to anything. They wanted to keep it at 2%, and they don't pay the 2%. So we're going to cut off all trade with Spain. We don't want anything to do with Spain.
Note how Trump there was threatening to invade Spain, a so-called Western ally, a member of NATO and the EU. This is what Trump said. These are the exact remarks. Spain, quote, said that we can't use their base, and that's all right. We don't need to. We could use their base if we want. We could just fly in and use it. Nobody's going to tell us not to use it, end quote. When he says fly in and use it, he means the U.S. military will invade Spain, at least their bases, and take over their bases. This is absolutely insane. And then on top of that, Trump said that he ordered the Treasury Secretary, the billionaire hedge fund manager from Wall Street, Scott Bessent, to cut off all trade with Spain, to impose an embargo on Spain. And one of Trump's big complaints there is that the left-wing government of Spain opposes the extreme militarism of the US and most of the European countries, which have announced they're going to more than double their military spending from 2% of GDP to 5% of GDP.
Let's go back to listening. Let's go back to, what was his name? Switch account. I gotta switch. Hold on. Another TDS clown. That's right. Another TDS clown came in here. Another TDS clown. Eric, the TDS clown. Who is the who's that? That it? Let me get you on the Wi-Fi here, guys. Hold on, let me get you on the Wi-Fi. Listen to this and comment on this here.
It's already bad enough that we're ruled by corrupt, authoritarian, fascist, billionaire PDF files, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. But to make matters worse, there's a faction of religious extremists within the Trump regime who think that they're actualizing biblical end times prophecy by doing the bidding of Israel. Yeah, and they also think that war with Iran is going to help usher in the Armageddon. In fact, influential Christian Zionists like Pastor John Hagee are telling their congregations that Trump's war with Iran is actually part of God's plan, and that God is going to militarily assist Israel if Christians pray hard enough, and if Israel prevails in the end, it'll subsequently lead to a righteous revival in the United States. And Israel's imperial conquest is important to fundamentalists like John Hagee because, as journalist Hemant Mehta points out, Hagee believes Israel has a right to take over much of the Middle East, which is why he and ally Mike Huckabee have been avid supporters of the genocide in Gaza. Hagee believes that Israel's success will hasten end-time prophecies and bring on the second coming of Christ and eventually lead to everyone converting to Christianity, or else. It's why his group, Christians United for Israel, is even larger than the more well-known pro-Israel lobbying group AIPAC. And to elaborate on the or else that Mehta was referring to, it means that everybody has to convert or be killed, including all Jews. So the core belief of Christian Zionists is deeply anti-Semitic. They only want Israel to control all of the Middle East so that way Jesus can come back and send everyone to hell if they don't convert to Christianity. And Israeli leaders like Netanyahu are well aware of this fact, but they don't care, seeing as how deranged Christian Zionists are helping them achieve their own Zionist expansionism. But this belief isn't some conspiracy theory. This is what they actually believe. I was taught the same thing as a fundamentalist myself when I was a kid, and U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee actually admitted such in a recent interview with Tucker Carlson.
You've appealed to Genesis. Genesis 15 says it's Abram, it's pre-Abraham, it's Abram.
You liked it boiled?
Receives from God the news that his descendants will inherit the land, and you tell me as the theologian if I'm getting this wrong, but from the Euphrates to the Nile. I think that's right. And that would include, like, basically the entire Middle East. That would...
You know the world is crazy when Tucker Carlson is the same one. You know the world is so fucking crazy when Tucker Carlson is the same motherfucker in the room. You know? When MAGA's Tucker Carlson all of a sudden sounds like he's not crazy anymore. You know, it's insane. It really is insane. Yeah, I'm making little micro hot dogs. Thank you, nurse.
Be
Rod.
The Levant, so that would be Israel, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon. It would also be big parts of Saudi Arabia and Iraq. It would be, I mean...
I'm not sure it would go that far. I mean, it would be a big piece of land, but here's the point.
It would be a lot of places that are now countries that...
This particular area that we're talking about now, Israel, is a land that God gave through Abraham to a people that he chose. It was a people, a place, and a purpose. We can look at it that way. Christian Zionism, I want to go back because that's where we started.
I'm not going to let you off on this because you have said it three times that God gave this land to this people. And so it is entirely fair for me with respect to ask, what land are you talking about? Because I just read Genesis 15, as I have many times. Mm-hmm. And that land, I think it says, from the Nile to the Euphrates, which is, once again, basically the entire Middle East. So God gave that land to his people, the Jews, or he didn't. You're saying he did. What does that mean? Does Israel have the right to that land? Because you're appealing to Genesis.
Yeah.
You're saying that's the original deed.
It would be fine if they took it all.
And again, he's fine with Israel taking over all of the Middle East because Jesus can't come back until that happens. But this extreme fundamentalism is so much more prevalent in the Trump regime than I think anyone realized. No. And journalist Jonathan Larson reports that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has essentially turned the U.S. military into a vehicle for this kind of Christian Zionist end times prophecies. He reports Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has enshrined evangelical Christianity at the uppermost levels of the U.S. military, airing monthly prayer meetings throughout the Pentagon. Last year, the Pentagon confirmed to me that Hegseth attends a weekly White House Bible study. It's led by a preacher who says God commands America to support Israel. Now, here's the result of that. A combat unit commander told non-commissioned officers at a briefing Monday that the Iran war is actually part of God's plan and that President Donald Trump was anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran to cause the Armageddon and mark his return to Earth, according to a complaint by a non-commissioned officer. From Saturday morning through Monday night, more than 110 similar complaints about commanders in every branch by the military had been logged by the Military Religious Freedom Foundation. The complaints came from more than 40 different units spread across at least 30 military installations, the MRFF told me Monday night. The non-commissioned officer who filed the complaint said their commander urged us to tell our troops that this was all part of God's divine plan, and he specifically referenced numerous citations out of the book of Revelation referring to Armageddon and the imminent return of Jesus Christ. So these are the kinds of commanders who are in charge of the military at a time when the country is invading Iran. That's really bleak to hear, right? Now, Larson goes on to explain that the Military Religious Freedom Foundation has been inundated with complaints about religious liberty violations since the U.S. and Israel invaded Iran, because military commanders are basically...
Yeah, I see that Marjorie Taylor Greene now is speaking out against all this bullshit, you know, on it. How did your girlfriend like the hot dogs? Or no? Huh? Did you find out about your test yet?
Tomorrow.
Or when's your holiday over, Tommy? When are you ready to get to work, Mr. Entrepreneur? Get your driver's license done. Just start getting, you know, you're 18 now. You need to, you know, either that or go find a local job. Go get a job. Work in a McDonald's. You want to go sign up? What's your first job going to be? Working at a grocery store? Where do you want to work? Get your first paycheck. How about private gyms? You know, there's a lot of gyms. Like, there's the gym behind the, you know, that gym back there. Yeah. You should inquire, maybe search and send out, say, hey, hiring. Huh? You like gyms? Yeah. Maybe you can work at a gym as a trainer.
I'm working. I want to go year by my year.
Huh? Then you change your schedule. You work nights, you work days, you work mornings, you know? Work around your schedule. Huh?
I can't have a decision now.
You can just work part-time. Don't make it, you know, right there. I'm doing pig in a blanket. Look at that. Hot dog, cheese. You want mayonnaise or just ketchup?
Just ketchup.
So do ham with onion. Add the hot dog in between the ham. And then the ham. And then down the ham, add the hot dog. You seen this here? This is like my this is my Castle. Do you guys know Castle hamburger? These are my little Castle hot dogs. My famous Castle hot dogs. Oh, I bet she did. Hillary and Yoko Ono had a little fling. I bet she was. I could see her. Pig stuff. I don't know. Look. These are Japanese hot dogs. Probably the leftover, you know, stuff. What do you think? Here you go. You want milk? Eric.
Thank you.
Want milk? You talking, Brenda? You talking to the bot? You talking to 0102? That's a bot, Brenda. That's a bot. That's undoubted. That's 0102. Who knows? Who knows? It's good. These little breakfast hot dogs on there. Pig froth. Just a bunch of. I probably don't want to know. Oh, no. Hold on. Thank you. Anything else you want? We have rice, lots of rice. You want a banana or something? How would the hot dog built? I like mayo. I like Japanese mayo. Japanese ketchup. Look at these little croissant things. Oh my God. I don't be eating this stuff.
In their pants at the opportunity to now bring about the end times prophecy. And that is not hyperbole. It feels like I'm being uncharitable when I say that, but I'm not. The Military Religious Freedom Foundation said that across most of the complaints that they're receiving, troops are describing their commanders as having unrestrained euphoria over what they see as a biblically sanctioned war. So they are ecstatic that the U.S. is bombing Iran. They genuinely believe that Trump has a divine mandate to bomb another country. And commanders are pushing this religious extremism on their units because if Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is able to break code and violate religious liberty of troops that, he's in charge of and commanders and whatnot, then why can't they? Like, everything kind of rolls downhill from the top. If he does it, they feel like they're going to do it too. Much like Huckabee, Hegseth has the exact same views about Israel. And during Trump's first administration, Hegseth actually talked about how Trump was a vehicle for God's divine will for Israel in a way that should alarm every single person.
Jennifer and I and others had a chance to go see the Western Wall of the Temple Mount, the Western Wall tunnels, so much of the old city. And as you stand there, you can't help but behold the miracle before you. And it got me thinking about another miracle that I hope all of you don't see too far away. Because 1917 was a miracle, 1948 was a miracle, 1967 was a miracle, 2017, the declaration of Jerusalem as the capital was a miracle.
Guys, I have to proclaim something. I was born in 1967. I'm a miracle. That's why I'm on here. Now I understand, right? I was born in a miracle year. Is he drunk? No, the better question, Cindy, is he drunk? How many drinks has this motherfucker had? That's the better question.
And there's no reason why the miracle of the reestablishment of the temple on the Temple Mount is not possible. I don't know how it would happen. You don't know how it would happen, but I know that it could happen. That's all I know. And a step in that process, a step in every process, is the recognition that facts and activities on the ground truly matter. And that's why going and visiting Judea and Samaria, understanding that sovereignty, the very sovereignty of Israeli soil, Israeli cities, locations, is a critical next step to showing the world that this is the land for Jews and the land of Israel. And I believe, as was mentioned, he said you need to, what was mentioned is you need to buy the ticket. Don't just wish for 40 years to win the lottery, buy the ticket. I would submit to you, in light of the support you have in Washington, D.C., the support you have amongst patriotic Americans, amongst evangelical Christians, amongst believers, amongst Republicans, even amongst some Democrats who can barely say it anymore in Washington. Buy the ticket, take your action, do what needs to be done here in Israel, because I truly believe this is a moment where America will have your back. You have Donald Trump in the White House, you have Mike Pence as vice president,
Crazy.
You have Nikki Haley at the UN, you have true believers in Israel and America that have your back.
And that guy is now our defense secretary. So he went to Israel and he told them to take over the West Bank, and he referred to the 1917 Balfour Declaration and the 1948 Nakba as miracles, and explicitly said that Israel will have the United States' support if they annex the West Bank. Fast forward to today, and that's exactly what Israel is doing. And Trump is letting it happen. Not because Trump subscribes to their loony religious views, but because a billionaire mega donor, Miriam Adelson, cut him a check for $100 million on the condition that he lets Israel annex the entire West Bank. But the fundamentalists are interpreting that corruption as Trump carrying out the will of God, when he's simply just doing the bidding of his donors who support Israel's imperialism. But the Christian Zionist fascists genuinely believe that all of the stars are aligning right now for Jesus to come back. It's not just that Israel is taking over the West Bank, which is what they've long wanted. It's that Israel's enemies are also being vanquished, Iran. And because they think that biblical prophecy is coming to fruition, they're now really letting their freak flags fly, because why wouldn't they? If Jesus is about to come back, then the rules of engagement and the codes of conduct prohibiting commanders from pushing religion on their units are null and void, because God's law is finally usurping U.S. law and the Constitution. And I want to be very clear, it's not just that the religious freedom of U.S. service members is being violated. That would be a problem in and of itself. It's that this religious extremism is having a concrete effect on the battlefield. And this is the most chilling part of the story. So the Military Religious Freedom Foundation told Jonathan Larson, quote, many of their commanders are especially delighted with how graphic this battle will be, zeroing in on how bloody all of this must become in order to fulfill and be in 100% accordance with fundamentalist Christian and of the world eschatology. So they want the war to be bloody, because if it's not bloody enough, Jesus won't come back. Like, this is the level of delusion we are dealing with in this fucking country. And the war has already been incredibly bloody. The U.S. and Israel killed 175 girls in a school bombing. And there are reports that Tehran is being carpet bombed. They are already committing war crimes, and it just began. And this is exactly what needs to happen for Jesus to come back. Now, let me just remind you who it was again that explicitly announced that they would not abide by the rules of engagement. No stupid rules of engagement. That's right, it was that guy. The same guy who believes that the war has to be bloody for the biblical prophecy to be fulfilled. In other words, they think they have to commit war crimes for Jesus.
It does get crazy.
If this were a Muslim, the U.S. government would declare him a terrorist. But since he's a Christian Zio-Nazi, it's barely a blip on anyone's radar. So regardless if, this war is being waged for religious reasons or due to Trump's corruption, part of the reason why we are at war with Iran, make no mistake about it, is because of Israel. And Trump isn't willing to admit this yet, but make no mistake about it, that is the fucking reason why we're at war with Iran.
Mr. President, did Israel force your hand to launch these strikes against Iran? Did Netanyahu pull the United States into this war?
No, I might have forced their hand. You see, we were having negotiations with these lunatics, And it was my opinion that they were going to attack first. They were going to attack. If we didn't do it, they were going to attack first. I felt strongly about that. And we have great negotiators, great people that do this very successfully and have done it all their lives very successful. And based on the way the negotiation was going, I think they were going to attack first.
And that's such a lie.
I didn't want that to happen.
They were fucking,
so
they were agreeing to everything.
Israel's hand.
Sure you did. It's not that you were paid by the Israel lobby to do their bidding, or that Netanyahu made you think it was your idea, or that maybe he forced you to do it because your former bestie, Jeffrey Epstein, was an Israeli intelligence asset who maybe gave the Israeli government information to blackmail you with. I mean, if that were the case, Trump wouldn't be the first American president blackmailed by Netanyahu after all. You sincerely thought that an attack was imminent, even though your Pentagon said that that was not the case. Sure. But the good news is that we don't have to speculate, because Marco Rubio confirmed that it was, in fact, Israel that goaded the U.S. into this war with Iran the second time in the span of a year. Nick Turse of The Intercept reports that Rubio essentially admitted that we're essentially fighting Israel's war. Quote, he explained that the government of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had effectively boxed in the Trump administration, taking the decision out of American hands. Quote, we knew that there was going to be an Israeli action, Rubio explained. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces, and we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties. So rather than telling our own vassal state, no, you're not allowed to do this, the Trump regime opted to just go along with what Israel wants. Again, because that's what the Israel lobby paid him to do. It was money well spent. And when you take into account all of the fundamentalist freaks that are in his ear telling him war with Iran is essential, it's no surprise to see that this was the outcome. And to be clear, I don't think that the Christian Zionists in his regime are telling him that he should attack Iran to usher in the end times, because he doesn't subscribe to that philosophy. I think that they're probably telling him that, you know, if he does this, he's going to be viewed as this courageous and brave leader. But keep in mind, you know, it's
Kristi Noem, Corey.
By the defense industry that also wanted Trump to do this. So when you have so many...
Kristi Noem, Corey Lewandowski.
This is the end result. It's always going to be the end result. The warmongers get what they want, and people opposed to war, innocent people who don't want to be killed, they don't get what they want. But
when you build a website with Framer and purchase a yearly plan, you get your domain.
Oh, exhausted. No, not at all. I just I think we're setting records, like Mr. Biggs, and now Timberlake from California. You're gonna go for the record?
If I'm being honest, I threw out 50 of them.
God bless you. Let's go. So let's get started.
Listen to this.
A Vox article, the mess that Kristi Noem made.
Without objection.
Times article, Noem's spending rule causes delays at Homeland Security.
Without objection.
Politico, vote to overhaul FEMA canceled after leaked report.
Without objection.
ProPublica, Kristi Noem misled Congress about top aide's role at DHS.
Without objection.
The Hill, Trump approval rating on immigration at record low.
Without objection.
Wall Street Journal, pilot fired over Kristi Noem's missing blanket.
Without objection.
CNN article, sources describe how Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's Gucci bag was stolen under her chair.
Without objection.
New York Times, late night is distracted by Kristi Noem's oversized hats. That one's my favorite. And a Times article, some Republicans join calls for DHS Secretary Kristi Noem to step down.
Without objection.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate your indulgence. Before I begin, first let me say to the families that are still here, I am very sorry for your loss. I watched parents in my hometown of Parkland bury their kids after the shooting at my high school at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, and I can't tell you that it was an out-of-body experience, and there's nothing like burying a child. So I am deeply sorry for your loss. Madam Secretary, welcome. Good afternoon. Thomas Massey mentioned Ron DeSantis' response during COVID. Well, you're looking at the guy who ran that response. I was the Director of Emergency Management for the state of Florida. For Republican governor, I worked with the Trump FEMA administration during the Category 5 Hurricane Michael recovery. That Trump's FEMA was great. We got expedited reimbursement, a program that you got rid of or threatened to get rid of. And the Panhandle had one of the greatest responses after that Category 5 storm. The president said he wanted to reform FEMA, but that's not what you did. You basically destroyed the agency. Largest FEMA backlog in the history of FEMA. My state of Florida is owed $2.5 billion. You have delayed the FEMA disaster declarations even when the applicants meet FEMA statutory threshold under the Stafford Act. You want states to do more, yet you want to cut the EMPG program, which grants them funding to build capacity. Your office was involved in discussions of moving FEMA to Texas. You created a rule of anything over $100,000 has to come to your desk, a rule that has slowed down FEMA reimbursement, FEMA response. We have empty regional offices. You have done the opposite of what President Trump wanted to accomplish, which was to speed up the process. Your policies have made the department slower. I didn't think it was possible to make FEMA more bureaucratic, but boy, you have exceeded all my expectations. In the Texas floods, you didn't put the urban search and rescue crews on the road for 72 hours. Days later, the FEMA urban search and rescue chief resigned in protest. You hired 2 people as the administrator with no FEMA experience. We're on our 3rd history of the department. Has that ever happened? The president took presidential action to create the FEMA Council. I supported it. You opposed the FEMA Council. You delayed its beginning. The report has still not come out. The White House canceled your last council meeting and has held up the release of the report. But surprise, I have it. I have it. I want to thank the former FEMA employees that you fired who gave this to me. This report's never been seen in public before, okay? But this is it. This was the report. It was 122 pages, the original draft report. You and Corey Lewandowski then took the report and made it 23 pages. You cut out all the stuff that was put in by governors who had been through disasters, emergency management directors, FEMA experts, national security experts. You cut it all out. It's all gone. That's why the report's not been released. It's sitting in the White House trying to figure out this mess that you created. So instead of getting the recommendations we need, now we have nothing. You've called Corey Lewandowski a special government employee. I understand what government means. I understand what employee means. Okay, but I don't know what makes him special. Now, I want to give you an opportunity to answer on the record to Ms. Camlager Dove's question. I know you said it's garbage, and it may be, but I really think you need to say the word no into the record so that you can clear that up.
I think the ridiculousness of this and the tabloids that you are quoting and referencing are insane. And this has been
so that's a no?
Something that I've refuted for years, and I continue to do that.
So it's a no.
What I would tell you is
we can move on. Hold on.
What you're doing.
We can move on. I'm not going to belabor it.
This is what you do.
Hold on.
Socialist,
I'm not doing anything.
Liberal left.
Okay.
Is you go off and you attack conservative women, and you say that we're either stupid
I haven't
or
said
we're
anything.
sluts.
All right. So listen.
And that's what you do.
Yesterday, Richard. We're claiming my time, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, you're claiming my time. You were asked by Richard Blumenthal yesterday. You were asked by Richard Blumenthal yesterday if Corey was involved in approving contracts. You said no. Do you want to correct that?
What I would say is that he has an advisor to the Department of Homeland Security, has no decision-making authority.
Madam Secretary, do you want to correct it? Yes or no? You don't want to correct it? Fine.
Hold on.
Not a problem. According to one of the FEMA administrators that you fired, there is nothing, including contracts, that is brought to you that he hasn't reviewed. In fact, a significant amount of DHS internal routing documents has his signature on it above deputy secretaries. Okay, that former FEMA administrator wasn't fired by you, the secretary. He was fired by Corey. It was Corey that called him into your office. It was Corey that made him to submit to a polygraph test. The $100,000 spending rule that you created that comes to your desk, you're not even sitting at your desk. It's Corey who's sitting there. ISIS said the Republicans should be happy at the job that you're doing. Really? You're looking at the person who single-handedly took the president's signature core issue, immigration, the issue that got him elected from 59% to 39%. 200 miles of border walls being held up by you. They had to bring in Tom Homan, pull out of Minnesota. I think the country needs a national divorce from you on biblical grounds. I mean, if Donald Trump was still apprentice Trump, he would look at you and he would realize you're the weakest cabinet member and he would fire you. And if the president said to you that only way DHS could reopen is if you resigned, I hope you would take him up on it. Now, I want to end on a happy note, Mr. Chairman, real quickly. The president gave all sorts of stuff out during the State of the Union. I don't want you to leave. I got you a new Coast Guard blankie, the one you lost. Okay, so this is for you. You don't leave empty-handed when you come to judiciary. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The gentleman has expired. The gentleman from Missouri is recognized.
They're the next iteration of the Even G1, and they're bringing us one step closer to real-life Tony Stark glasses. And with this new version,
that was brutal, dude. That guy is brutal. That guy is fucking brutal.
So, Secretary Noem, at any time during your tenure as Director of Department of Homeland Security, have you had sexual relations with Corey Lewandowski?
Mr. Chairman, I am shocked that we're going down and peddling tabloid garbage in this committee today.
Reclaiming
and
my
ma'am,
time.
one thing that I would tell you is that he is a special government employee who works for the White House. There are thousands of them in the federal government.
So reclaiming
and
my
is an
time,
advisor
Secretary, it is
and has
okay for
no,
you to be
no
offended
authority
by
to
the
be
question.
making any
It is
decisions.
okay for you to
has
be
no
offended
authority
by the
to
question.
be making
But it is
decisions
also
and
a
putting
real
up a
question.
position. So what I would say
And
to
you should be able to
is
answer
that
the
what we do
question
at the Department of Homeland
clearly
Security every single
and without
day,
any hesitation.
every single day is to protect
If
this
someone
country
is
and
asking
to make
if
decisions.
you or any federal official is sleeping with their subordinate, that should be the easiest. You should be wanting to answer that question.
Is garbage?
Because it is not about
It is
your sex
offensive
life.
that you have brought
It is
that up.
about your judgment.
That kind of garbage
It is
has been
about
refuted
reclaiming
for
my
years,
time so
and
that
you
I
need
can
to
hear myself
recognize-
Time belongs to the gentlelady from California, but it'd be nice if you would let her respond.
I will. I want to let you know it is about your judgment and decision making. It is about the 260,000 employees that work under you that want to make sure that you are giving information and making decisions clearly. It is about conflict of interest. It is about a national security risk. Department of Homeland Security was created right after 9/11 to protect the homeland. And DHS has circulated an internal bulletin to law enforcement partners warning that the conflict of the war we're in could inspire lone actors or small-scale cyber activity inside the United States, according to a memo obtained by ABC News. So American lives are at risk. The people who work for you are at risk. And they want to know that the person at the top, you, are making decisions clearly without any sort of cloudiness, and that they're your decisions because you're the secretary who was confirmed. That's what this is about. Saving the lives of Americans and not costing them millions of dollars, and not having a secretary who's compromised in her decision making.
That was brutal. I did a roasted and I also roasted it with this and I boiled it. I did a boiled roasted chicken. Came out really good. That was just 9 hours ago.
This woman said what everyone has been thinking for a long time.
I am wondering if you are all pedophiles because you don't seem to care that children are being sexually abused. I mean, if somebody claimed that I was, I would say, I absolutely am not. But you guys love to let it stand as fact that that's what's going on because you're not willing to stop it. So, I mean, if you're willing to perpetuate it, what else could you be? If you want to shake your head, then do something about it. No, Monica, you're not then why aren't you doing anything about the child that's happening in the county? If you cared, you would want to stop it. Jim, what if it happens to your grandchild? Would it matter then? Probably, right?
Next speaker, please. This woman said what everyone has been thinking for a long time.
I am wondering if you are all pedophiles because you don't seem to care that children are being sexually abused. I mean, if somebody claimed that I was, I would say, I absolutely am not. But you guys love to let it stand as fact that that's what's going on because you're not.
I had to realize I was delusional. I thought if you were.
First of all, why in the fuck are you going to the Middle East on vacation when you know that Donald Trump is assembling a fleet? You got 2 aircraft carriers and 5 destroyers out there. Let's go on vacation. Right next door. Surely nothing will happen, right? Say Donald Trump is the president. He could bomb your hotel. First of all, why in the fuck are you going to the Middle East on vacation when you know that Donald Trump is assembling a fleet?
In 2020, Iran's top nuclear scientist was assassinated by a robot sniper rifle. I don't know if you remember this, but he was driving with his wife in the passenger seat, and they were in an unarmored Nissan vehicle outside Tehran. His security detail was in a separate car. And Israel, it turned out, this is according to a big investigation by the New York Times, had basically, piece by piece, assembled this robot machine gun sniper rifle that sat under a tarp in the back of a pickup truck. The whole thing weighed a ton, the whole robotic assemblage. And it overlooked the road that this guy was going to be traveling, and it hit him with 15 bullets using a facial recognition system, so they would know exactly who they were hitting. It was AI assisted, and the person who gave the go command, not necessarily the trigger puller, but the go command, was like 1,000 miles away. And I remember at that time, when that happened in 2020, thinking, oh, right, the future of war is happening now. All of this concern that we've had about automated death is already a supply chain. Like, it's not a possible abstract dystopian dark future. It is a real thing. It's a product. And right now, that commodified quality is unspooling all around us in this attack on Iran, where Iran is showing off this kind of car ad-like video of the drones it has at its disposal underground. And meanwhile, the United States is firing these new unmanned drones, kamikaze-style drones, that are in fact designed, inspired by the Iranian drones. And that was all because in Ukraine, it was made clear that this kind of system could work, and the Iranian drones were being used. And the United States is now mimicking that. And you combine those things, plus I've been seeing all this crazy footage of, the American air bases and military bases that are being hit by Iranian forces defend themselves using a system called a CRAM, the letter C, RAM, which is an automated, very, very heavy machine gun system, fires, thousands of projectiles a second, up to intercept missiles or drones that are incoming.
That was the
This is the
green
kind
light.
of thing that, we've been talking about human in the loop for a long time, that humans have to be in the loop to make a decision. But they're already not. I mean, the CRAM's been around for over a decade, and it's designed to shoot things down at a rate that you could never wake up a human being to do. You could never prod them awake and say, missiles are coming, fire this. And so when I think about Dario Amodei and the Anthropic people in this, Dario Amodei, the CEO and co-founder of Anthropic, in this standoff with the Pentagon that I covered at the Rip Current. In 2020, Iran's top nuclear scientist was assassinated.
For anyone experiencing blurry vision and concerns about deteriorating sight, do not...
Well, everyone, very honored to welcome back into the studio Mr. Larry Johnson. He is a former CIA analyst and actually a first-time guest on our podcast here. Larry, thank you so much for joining today's show.
Well, I greatly appreciate the invitation. Thank you.
Absolutely. Can you just give everybody a little bit of background? Because you and I were chatting earlier. I mean, I know you were working with the Special Forces, the CIA. You've had many years of planning military strategy. I think it's a fascinating insight to our audience.
Yeah, I've been fortunate to have a broad-based experience. CIA, I've worked on both the operations side of the house a little bit. Spent most of my time as an analyst. After leaving there, I went to State Department in the Office of Counterterrorism. I was the Deputy Director for the Anti-Terrorism Assistance Training Program, as well as for Transportation Security. So I dealt with policy issues related to those. In the years when I left government in 2003, I was involved with my own consulting business, and later partnered up with some former DEA guys. We did global money laundering investigations, and then in addition to that, I did 23 years scripting the military exercises for Delta Force and SEAL Team 6. So I worked with the Special Operations Forces for almost a quarter of a century. So I have a lot of knowledge about, I bring a unique mix. I understand the intelligence side of the house, I understand the policy side of the house from state, and I understand the military national security dimension of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I couldn't think of a better guest to get on our show right now as we're looking at the next war that the United States has unfortunately started. Larry, I'd like to get your initial thoughts on this because I believe that, in my analysis, I think that the United States has vastly underestimated the power of Iran. And I think that we have actually opened a can of worms that could potentially escalate into something much larger than we initially expected. What are your initial thoughts here as we're now coming into day 4 of this conflict and the scenes that we're seeing coming out of the Middle East? What are your initial thoughts?
Well, first, I fully agree with your take on it. When the history of this is written, Donald Trump's decision to go to war, to start a war that was... Iran didn't attack the United States. Iran wasn't threatening the United States.
Nope.
The United States did this for one reason and one reason only.
Israel!
And it's going to pay a terrible... The United States...
Israel! They did it to the fucking Israel.
Your statement that the West has grossly underestimated Iran couldn't be more accurate. Iran, let's go back to June 13th last year, when Israel launched a Pearl Harbor style attack designed to decapitate the Iranian leadership. They succeeded in large measure in killing a large number of senior Iranian officials. And it took Iran about 12 hours to sort of pull itself together to retaliate. This time, again, using the ruse of, we want to get you together to talk, to see about negotiations going forward. We used that ruse, the United States did, to sucker the Ayatollah Khamenei, the Minister of Defense, the head of the IRGC, the head of the intelligence services, to a meeting in which it was instruct with a Tomahawk cruise missile, killing them all. And within an hour, then Iran was striking back already. So the difference between last year, it took them 12 hours, this time only 1 hour. Because they made advanced preparations. So basically all commanders were told, if your superior is killed, then you're on your own to make decisions, and you launch where you want to launch and go on with it. What is remarkable is that within the first 48 hours, because of the attacks on the U.S. bases, the principal ones in Bahrain, the the 5th Fleet headquarters, and in Al Udeid in Qatar, which is outside of Doha, west of Doha, they had 2 major radar stations that played a critical part in monitoring all air traffic, detecting missile launches, predicting where those launches were headed. Iran destroyed those within the first 48 hours. It has destroyed most of the U.S. military
Billions of dollars.
Created such a threat at them that U.S. personnel have abandoned it. They've gone elsewhere because they can't. It's too hot. It's too dangerous. Never would I think anybody have predicted that Iran could have forced the United States out of the Gulf. Now, in addition to that, Iran has seized, under the direction of the IRGC, the Strait of Hormuz. They are closed. No maritime traffic going out of there now for this. They're entering the 4th day. And let's see, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It's actually entering now the 5th day because it's now Wednesday morning in Iran. So 5 days, every day, 21% of the world's oil comes out of there. It's not coming out of there now. A significant portion of the world's LNG, liquid natural gas, comes out of Qatar. It's not going. And this not only creates a problem in terms of exports, but also these Gulf countries, they're dependent heavily on imports.
What percentage of natural gas?
It's now Wednesday morning in Iran. So 5 days, every day, 21% of the world's oil comes out of there. It's not coming out of there now. A significant portion of the world's LNG, liquid natural gas, comes out of Qatar. It's not going. And this not only creates a problem in terms of exports, but also these countries, they're dependent heavily on imports, food, water. It's in order to stay these luxury vacation places that they become.
Right.
So Iran's taking some damage, but Iran is inflicting a lot of damage. Now, we're not seeing the social media coverage today that we saw in the 6-day war or the 12-day war last June. Gee, why is that? Well, it has something to do with Larry Ellis and his control of TikTok. Right. And the other social media platforms have been similarly controlled by the Zionist crowd. I mean, there's no other way to say it. These, in some cases, it's Jewish Zionists. In some cases, it's Christian Zionists. But they're going out of their way to close and try to keep the information straight. But I was had a conversation earlier today with Stanislav Krupivnik, Stas, a.k.a., as he's known. He served in the U.S. Army, left as he was promotable to major when he resigned his commission. He's over in Russia, and they're seeing some things on social media that we're not seeing. And he said, Tel Aviv is getting Gaza'd. In other words, Tel Aviv is getting the Gaza treatment. What Israel did to Tel Aviv, Iran is doing to what Israel did to Gaza, Iran is doing to Tel Aviv. Right. So we're in a situation where the United States is, frankly, it's lying about a lot of the action. You can't take, they claim, we're destroying all these launchers. Maybe, but we had 7 weeks last March at Operation Rough Rider off the coast of Yemen in the Red Sea. The U.S. failed to destroy, despite thousands of missions, failed to destroy launchers. So now you're telling me that the airspace in Iran is contested. It's not uncontested, whereas the airspace in Yemen was uncontested. So you're telling me that in a more lethal combat environment, we're doing a better job at detecting mobile launchers than we could do in Yemen? Plus, in Yemen, we had twice the number of aircraft carriers that we've got. Now there's only one in the region. The other one has bailed out for fear of getting sunk. So a lot of it doesn't make sense. And like yesterday, the biggest gaslighting. The Kuwaitis shot down 3 of our F-15 Eagle planes. Friendly fire. What? Yeah. Each of those planes comes with an IFF, identify, friend, foe,
Yeah, those were probably Shia, like shoot them damn fucking Americans down, right? Don't you think it could be whoever's in there is like, let's shoot down some Americans. Oh, fuck that American. Let's shoot him down. Oh, it was accident, friendly fire.
Transponder. That transponder, it's not a matter of a pilot flipping it on or off, but it is integrated into the air defense system that's on the ground.
For each one?
I could understand maybe one F-15 getting shot down accidentally.
But 3?
Not 3. No, these 3, these were brought down by the Iranians. They shot them down. And
statistically, that'd be almost impossible to have those 3, right?
You're saying that some idiot Kuwaiti who kept making the same mistake over and over.
Yeah, 3 times.
Yeah. There's a plane that's coming at us. We're going to shoot it down. And the Kuwaitis themselves aren't operating those Patriot systems. If that is allegedly what shot it down, but that's not what happened. It was shot down by Iran using probably an S-300, a Russian-provided air defense platform.
I'm muted. I'm gonna lay down, take a nap. I gotta pick up Mikey. So go to bed. I'm gonna go lay down for an hour, then I'll be back on. Good job whacking all these bitches. Good job. I'm gonna I'm getting a food comb. Had lunch. I'll be back in an hour. So I gotta get Mikey. So I'm just gonna take a power nap later.